All right, everybody. I've been getting some strange responses about being hard on men. Now, I come from a time to where the men were hard, so I'm not sure how to respond to this. I'm hoping that you guys can help me respond to this as you come into the chat today because I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm a little confused. I don't understand what is hard or too hard on black men. I guess we'll figure it out. Gangster talk up next. Dame, hit it.
Yeah, son. There's mad kids out there getting cream for the 9 bro. Yeah, and I've been doing this for a long time. Shoot the game going for mine.
Alright.
And this is the year when mad caps get peeled. So I'ma spark this line, kick the real.
Bang them out.
With all this chaos in the realms of the street, your local street dog got to make ends meet. The average Joe's far too slow for the ghetto pro. You better know, when I hit the streets, I like to glow, I like to glisten. And at the same time, stay low, listen, motherfuck the fame. I'm pursuing the dope. My stilo is symbolic to a kilo. Cash is popping, cookies cooking, beans copping. Ain't that some shit? A player that's used to living rich is now a sticky kid, caught up in a ditch. In 94, Giuliani kicked down the door. In 95, niggas flipped to stay alive. Peeling caps while I laugh. In the stats, the 4.5. Remy in the glass, spark the boom, then I blast. They wanna confine me, sneak up from behind me. Bust a cap in my back and put me where they can't find me. They hate to see a young player pay. I don't wanna see that, son. They rather see it spray. But I'm like Diddy, a Terminator, squeeze the lead off. Using verbs and nouns like rounds to blow your head off. Hitting up spots, heating up blocks. Invested in stocks like Colombian blow crops. I'm out to get cream and ain't no doubt in my mind. Fuck this broke shit, I'm hit, I get down for mine. Yeah, get you a I get down for mine, get down for this. Get your money, put your hands in the air. I get down for mine, get down for hands on the regular. Shit, nigga, no fair. I get down for mine, get down for this. Get your money, put your hands in the air. I get down for mine, get down for this. On the regular. Shit, I hear you wanna be a player. I ain't some place you bet. Let's play a game of real nigga roulette. Witness a DOA as I spray the melee. Contact and punctuation is compared to AK. You in the days, overdose, pure funk. I'm fucking off like Tommy Gibb. The karma's a boost smoke. Decapitated rappers in my trunk. I'm sick, pumping skunk, bouncing with my click, popping mega jump. I'm getting back while these clowns be zigzagging. Once it's talk about flipping keys, come on, you're nickel bagging. I'm blasting off wigs and making doubters believe it. You see, I was packing heaters when jokers was banging cheerleaders. Ain't nothing changed, it's still the same in the rap game. I'm known for banging rookies out the frame. Y'all done forgot who was the pimp from the start. Sipping vintage wine, eating a la carte. I'm phenomenal from the abdominal. Far from comical lyrics and sticking the brains like barnacle. Never sleep, I'm bringing the drama to the streets with techniques and rolling and flipping. Ain't nothing sweet about the streets, so I'm poetically ill. I'm pure like cook up and lyrics shine like fish scale. I got the banger and you broke and you ain't showing no signs. Can't depth, let them know I get down for mine. I get down for mine. I get down for mine. I get down for mine.
All right. What's going on, everybody? We are live on Gangsta Talk tonight. Shout out to Dame Frankie, the Lady Night, just burning it up on the backdrops, the music. She's just handling business. That's my right hand peoples. So give the Lady Night some props. from hooking up gangster talk on um, uh, StreamYards because we originally had it set up on Zoom. So shout out to the lady night. Dang, that was funky. I gotta give it to you. That was pretty funky. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to my man Hassan Burton coming in. Dang, flip us back to the overlay for right now, okay? And we'll switch back, okay? So um, we're going to be talking about being too hard on men. Um, I've been told several times that I'm too hard on men. I don't know what that means. Uh, hold on one second. Sorry about that. Yeah, I don't know what that means. Okay, I've been told that I've been too hard on black men. Now, hopefully, I have some of my brothers in here that can help me explain this. I got my brother Hassan Burton in the chat, and Hassan, we pretty much close to the same era. We pretty much came up in the same time. So Hassan knows a lot of the stuff I talk about. He recognized a lot of what I'm talking about, and I'm being told that I'm too hard on black men, which is something foreign to me. I don't even know what that means. I don't know what am I supposed to say to that? Okay, because I grew up in a time to where the black men were hard, man. They were tough. They didn't make excuses about anything. They raised their children, even kids that wasn't there. The fathers back then, if they would see a knucklehead child in the street that didn't have no direction or parents was no good or something like that, you know, they get together with the other parents and talk about it. And then they would take the kid off the street and bring him into the house and give the child a place to stay. And they would raise the child. So I come from that kind of background. And I don't understand what you mean when you say I'm too hard on black men. The black men I'm used to growing up with, or I grew up with, or raised me, were extremely tough. Had no sympathy for a weak Negro. They hated weak men. You couldn't be around my pops and the other men in the community and be weak. They hated that. And so, and you had to be self motivated. And you had to work, you had to do things to help the community. Everything was about strengthening the community back then. Everything was about protecting the community. The fathers protected their community, they protected their daughters. The fathers at one point existed just to protect their women. And they made their boys strong. They taught their boys how to fight. They taught their boys how to gather resources. They taught their boys how to protect home. I know how to gather resources. I know how to make money. I know how to do all these things because my father taught that to me and my brothers. I know how to protect home because my father taught that to me and my brothers. So, and there were no excuses. Like we couldn't go to my pops or we couldn't go to the men back then crying about this and crying about that. Okay. We would get yelled at or, we would get an ass whooping because they didn't accept weakness. They looked at crying and whining as girly stuff. That's where I get it from. That's what you hear me say. these guys sound like girls, right? I get that from my pops and them because if you came around them crying about, oh, I can't do this, stop sounding like a little girl. I ain't raising no little girls, you know. You get in trouble, you get yelled at, you get punked out. They didn't play those types of things back then. So and when you were supposed to do something and you didn't do it, and you came back, and if you were asked why you didn't do it, you better not blame somebody. That'd be the worst thing you can do. Like, we couldn't come back and say, well, I didn't do this because my sister didn't let me do it. That was a guaranteed ass whooping. As a matter of fact, that made fathers angry. They'd rather you come back and say, you screwed up. You didn't do it because A, B, and C, because you couldn't do this, or maybe you couldn't lift that, or you wasn't strong. They'd rather you come back and be a man about it and say, you screwed it up. And then at best, you'll get a lecture, and then you'll get taught how to do it properly. But do not come back and say, my sister, said something and I didn't do it, or my sister wouldn't let me do it, or, I didn't do it. Man, that would get your butt lit up. They hated excuses. They felt that excuses not to get your task done was a sign of mental and emotional weakness. That's what they thought. They felt if you came back and you said that I couldn't get done what I was supposed to get done because my girl didn't let me do it, or mama stopped me from doing it, or my sister stopped me from doing it, or something like that, they took that as a sign of mental and emotional weakness. And they didn't like that. They will whoop your behind. You couldn't blame somebody else. They didn't do that. Okay, you had to own up to your own situation. I'm sorry, y'all. 1 second. So before I go on, Lady Knight, am I coming in pretty clear? Y'all type of one in the chat if y'all can hear me.
Yeah, I can hear you clear.
Okay, thanks. And so back then, you couldn't come to them with excuses. If you did something, if they told you to do something, you had to do it. You couldn't come back and say, the devil didn't make me do it, or I didn't do it because the girl. No, if you blame somebody, you got your ass whooped. So I was taught at a young age not to blame people for not getting things done that I was supposed to get done. I had to figure some way out. I had to. And if I failed, then accept the fact that I failed and learn from that failure. Not try to excuse. Dame, go on mute. Dame, go on mute. Yeah, and so if I failed at something, if I truly failed, then I was supposed to accept the fact that I failed and then learn from that failure and not repeat the same things that made me fail. Learn from it, get better from it, get stronger from it, and then move forward and do not repeat the same things that allowed me to fail. That's what I was taught. I wasn't taught to make excuses when I fail. I wasn't taught to blame other people when I fail. That's not what I was taught. So I don't understand when people say I'm too hard on black men. I don't understand what that even means. I don't even know how to answer that, to tell you the truth. This is why I'm sitting up here confused talking to y'all. Hoping one of y'all in the chat can help me out here, because I don't even understand what that means. See, guys like me and Hassan, we come from an upbringing where the men were incredibly strong, and they didn't accept weakness. Like, and again, we was taught to, if we fail, we was taught to accept that failure and learn from that failure. Okay? Accept the fact that you failed. Don't blame anyone. It's your fault that you failed. And then find out why you failed. Look at what caused you to fail. And don't repeat that. So when you go fast forward today and say, the men are going, well, it's the woman's fault. It's the black woman's fault for A, B, C, D, all the way up to Z. I don't know what that is. We've never done that. I don't come from a place where that was even allowed. So I'm different now. I am older. I'm an old school dog. I'm 53, about to be 54 in a few days. About a week or so from now, I'll be 54 because my birthday's on the 20th. So, so I didn't come from this place of, coddling or somebody feeling sorry for me. I come out of that era to where what doesn't kill you make you stronger. And that you accept your failures if they were created by you. Now, of course, somebody can cause you to fail. There can be a direct interference, but that's totally different than failing on your own and blaming somebody for it. That's something we didn't do. That's something we weren't allowed to do. That was disciplined out of us. Okay, so when I fail on my own, I don't make any excuses. I accept the fact that I screwed up. And I need to do something different to make sure that doesn't happen again. I don't go blaming someone. All right. Now, I also was taught that it's a man's responsibility to take care of his women, his children, and his household. That's what I was taught. Let me say that one more time, that it is a man's responsibility to take care of his woman, his children, and his household. And if either one of those things don't necessarily have to be in the order, if any one of those things are lacking or suffering in any kind of way, then it is the man's fault. And it is not the man's fault 50%, 20%, 30%. My father and the men of that era believed that it was the man's fault 100%. 100%. And let me tell you why they believe that. Because my father taught me when I was younger that you have to be a strong man to take on a wife and have children and maintain a home. If you are not strong enough to do these things, then you are not fit to be a woman's husband. Let me say that one more time. My father and the men of that era taught us that you have to be strong, meaning strong mentally, emotionally, physically, and financially, to take on a wife, have children, and to acquire and maintain a homestead, meaning your home. If you were not strong enough to do those things, then you were not fit to be a woman's husband. These are the things that I was taught. Okay? And I was taught this by men. My father, other men around us, they taught because those men were extremely strong. They took care of households with 15, 20 kids, 10, 15 kids. My father's own house had 10 to 12 kids in it. And every last one of us was taken care of. Every last one of us had clothes on our back, food in our mouth. Every last one of us had a roof over our head. We didn't want or need for anything. And they maintained this easily because they were strong men. They were truly strong men. They didn't beat on their wives. Now, we may have gotten our ass whooped every now and then as kids, but my father was not abusive. He was definitely not abusive to my mother. He hated men who abused women. This is where I get it from. I can't stand men who abuse women either. This is why you hear me talk a lot about stop abusing our women. Do not abuse them. I'm always talking about that. Well, I get that from my father. My father never abused my mother. Never once laid a hand on her. Okay? And she respected the hell out of him. Okay? So coming from this place, I only know how to be one way, and that's strong. So I don't know anything about being hard on black men. I don't even know what that means. And I've been getting this in my email. Hey, you too hard on black men. You too hard on black men. I even talked to the lady Knight about it in the back chat to try to get a woman's perspective on it. Because as a man, I've always been strong. I don't know what you're talking about when you say I'm too hard on black men. I don't know what that is. I don't even know how to answer you. I've only been one way. I've always been strong. So the things that I was taught and the way my father and the men of that era talked to us, they didn't coddle us. They didn't baby us. They didn't felt that they was too hard on us. As a matter of fact, at times they felt they wasn't hard enough on us. You know, my father said that a good man is a strong man. A bad man is a weak man. So, and some of y'all are going to take that and run with it with all kinds of imaginations. That's fine. If it gets out of hand, we'll break that down, what they really meant by that. But I don't know what it's like to be weak. I haven't been like that since I was a kid. And my father wouldn't even allow it then. So I don't know this too hard on black men. I don't know what in the hell you are talking about. I honestly don't know. I'm talking about what I know. I'm pointing out the truth about our failures as black men, and that we need to own those failures and fix what we are doing wrong, that we need to accept responsibility, because that is what a real man does. A strong man accepts responsibility. A strong man does not point the finger of blame at other people for his failures. A strong man owns up to his mistakes. A strong man protects his wife and his children and his homestead and provides for his wife, his children, and his homestead. So I don't know anything about being hard on black men. And it took me a while to even talk about it this way because I didn't even know how to approach this. And like I said, the lady Knight can tell you, I've had conversations with her in the back because I was completely confused. I don't even know what this means. And even now, I don't even know if I'm addressing it properly because I don't understand what you mean, honestly, when you say I'm being too hard on black men. I don't know what that is. I don't even know how to answer that. I'm not even sure what that is. What do you mean too hard on black men? We are supposed to be the strongest. We are supposed to understand what it takes to be strong men, to be leaders. What do you mean hard on us? There is no such thing. We are the strongest. We are the hardest. We are the leaders. There is no being too hard on us. Not that I know of. Now, if somebody got something different that they can say and come up here and educate me, I am open to it. We can drop the link in the chat and you can come up here and you can break it down to me. Because honestly, I'm at a loss. Now, I can understand the women feeling some kind of way because they're women, you know. Black women are very nurturing and they care. And they may think something is a little bit too harsh or whatever. So I can understand them saying something of that nature. As a matter of fact, that sounds like something a woman would say. I don't think that's something a man would say. Like I would never say a man is too hard on another man. You know, now if he's making mistakes, I'll point that out. Okay, listen, you're not doing it right. You go in here and you go in there. You need to fix the way you're approaching it. You know, we may say something like that, but we're not going to say, well, you being too hard on the men when our nature and who we are is about strength. So it sounds like something a woman would say, oh, you're being too hard on him. You're being too hard on my baby. I mean, I expect a woman to say something like that. But I've been getting guys telling me, like, you're being too hard on black men. I'm like, what? So, like I said, I'll throw the link in the chat. You know, and somebody can come up and explain this to me because I'm at a loss. I don't know anything about being too hard on black men. I don't even know what that means. It's our fault that our community is ruined. It's our fault that our women are unprotected. It's our fault that our children are running wild in the street. It's our fault that we have no homesteads or very little of us own homesteads. This is our fault. It's our fault that our women's beauty has been set by other races of men. It's our fault that we are too cowardly to fight for our people. It's our fault that we have no new freedom fighters, no new leaders. We got people stuck in the past, Keep talking about Marcus Garvey. Keep talking about X. Keep talking about King. You keep talking about the black heroes of yesteryear, where we should have new heroes. Where are the new heroes to carry on those torches? We have a few out here standing out. We got the Dr. Umar Johnsons, you know, who I would consider, a new freedom fighter, somebody who's worthy of carrying on the torch of a Frederick Douglass or Garvey, somebody like that. But he's just one. We may have another here and there, but it's our fault that we have failed as black men. So acknowledging that and accepting that to me isn't being hard at all. It's being truthful. It's accepting the truth. And so in order to fix this, we have to understand that we failed as black leaders. And then we have to look at it, okay, we failed. Where did we go wrong at? All right, there was a breakdown here. There was a breakdown there. This didn't happen. That didn't happen. All right. Now we've isolated the situation. I'm sorry. Now we've isolated the reasons why we failed. Let's fix those issues and strengthen our leadership. That's what we are supposed to be doing, but we're not doing that. We are continuing to fail. Not only are we continuing to fail, we seem to be getting good at it. Seriously. We're becoming professional failures. I mean, it's getting so bad. I'm wondering if we're going to see businesses pop up out of nowhere teaching other black men how to fail. For the early bird special, $9.99. For $9.99, in 30 days, I can teach you how to fail like a pro. Seriously, I think that's coming up next. I think people are going to start capitalizing off the fact that we're so good at failing as black men. We're going to have people with all kinds of discounts on their failure classes. Some even probably going to have white women on the advertising flyers while they're sitting there with gold teethuses hugged up with a white woman talking about some, come on in. We'll teach you how to fail in no time. Just $9.99 or $8.88. We'll have you failing in 15 days. Nobody can teach you to fail as good as we can. Trust me, when you take our course, when you're done, you will be one of the best failures the world has ever seen for half the price. That's coming because we've gotten so good at failing. And we don't seem to have any interest in correcting that. I don't see anybody out here with any hard-hitting podcasts talking about let's get this shit turned around. I don't hear any of that, with the exception of myself. So let me bring in the Lady Knight and see if she can provide a female perspective on this stuff, because me and her had a conversation in the back chat before about this being too hard on black men. And I'm still confused as to what does that even mean. So let's see if the Lady Knight is hanging around. Lady Knight, you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
All right, so you've been listening. I've talked to you before in the back chat about this being too hard on black men. And you know me, I don't even know what that means. I don't understand that. And I'm still being told that I'm being hard on black men or too hard on black men. Now, you know where I come from. You know my upbringing.
Mm-hmm.
I can't. I don't know how to answer that. I don't. What is going on with that? I don't even know what that means. Now I can probably understand why a woman would say something like that because she's a nurturing soul or whatever. But I have men coming at me talking like this. Like I'm not sure what's going on. Lay it on me. Let me get some of that female perspective.
Well, I think that's how far down we had gotten. Uh, because if men coming up to you saying you're being too hard on them, um, or you're being too hard on black men as a whole, that means they gotten so soft that the little you're saying to them seem too hard or like you hating and stuff like that. When you're trying to uh make them, well, not make them, you're trying to get them to see that they're not thinking like men, thinking like either little boys or well, more like babies and or like women. They
Yeah,
want
cause
they
I.
want you to treat other men like like you would treat your daughters, especially if they're younger than you.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm. Yeah. Hmm. That's the closest thing I could come to that they've gotten so far. Or they had no men to direct them in their life. They don't recognize uh uh that men are being men. Or they fall into that trap of saying that you're being too hard on men, especially black men. They had a rough life and all of that stuff. They have all these strikes against them when you have to be hard so they can deal with the stuff going on in life, because this world is not going to be easy on them. You know, we got white supremacists, racism, cops, cops are murdering us, and there's no consequences for them.
Mm-hmm. That kind of remind me. Remember we was watching Black Sands,
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
and remember we was watching The Prince when he failed at what he was supposed to do, and his grandfather absolutely lit him up.
Mm-hmm,
His
mm-hmm,
grandfather was Ra himself, the God Killer.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Remember how Ra responded to him? And I told you that Ra his grandfather kind of reminded me of my own father. You know what I'm saying? And that's the way the fathers were back then. Like now, he wasn't soft with him at all, was he?
No.
I mean, did he coddle him for his failure?
No. Mm-mm.
As a matter of fact, what did he tell him about excuses? He said that you're not going to make excuses,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
So he didn't say he didn't think that he was being too hard on them, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so his mother, the queen, she did not intercede because she didn't think that his grandfather was being too hard on him.
Mm-hmm.
And so now I got people saying I'm being too hard on black men. I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, and they've even told me that I hate black men. I don't necessarily know how to answer that either. What do you mean I hate black? I'm a black man. What do you mean I hate black men? I can't figure that one out either. I mean, do you guys think I hate black men? Shout out in the chat. Give me a one if you think I hate black men, or a two if you don't think I hate black men. Because I've been told that I hate black men. I've been told that I'm too hard on black men. Um, this is a group thing, y'all. Get involved in this. Let me know what's going on here. How am I coming? How am I coming across, like, to y'all? Do y'all
Okay,
believe that
someone
I'm coming?
said no, you're not being hard. You got a couple of tools. Oh yeah, and yeah, you got tools in there. No, they don't think you're being hard. In fact, somebody says, funny how no one complains about the way some black men speak ill of black women. There's only a problem when someone is not only speaking truth of black men, but against them.
Right. And you know what? I echo that because where are the people that saying that these black men who are out here talking crazy about black women? How come they're not saying that those men aren't, are being too hard on the women? Okay,
Hmm.
I don't hear that. You know, and what's this thing about rushing to me talking about I'm hating black men and trying to silence my voice, okay? But no one is rushing to, well, I'm not going to say no one because a couple of us do. I do it all the time. I'm always fighting for black women because I love black women. And so I'll definitely bucket against it. But where are the guys who are telling me that I don't like black men, which sounds crazy to me, man. I ain't never had a man come to me and say these kinds of things. What kind of man says, "Hey, man, you hate black men"? I don't, I don't mean to laugh, but that sounds crazy to me. It does. It sounds crazy to me. That's not something I would say to them. Hey, man, you hate black men. Now, you were a gay male or something. I don't even know what that. I'm just confused right now, y'all. Like, I don't get it because this stuff. I'm getting all of these things in my email. What I hate black men. I I'm too hard on black men. I don't know what that's about.
It's a
So
reach. They're reaching because I guess they figure if a black person can hate their own blackness, then a man can hate his own manness or male masculinity. But that's a reach.
hmm.
Hmm. And that sounds like somebody that's batting for the other team.
Yeah, because I'm like, man, I don't know what that means. Like, I don't know what that is. You know, um, hating black men, being too hard on black men. I've never faced such questions before, or usually when I talk this way, men understand where I'm coming from. You see, we understand, real men understand that we are responsible for our communities. We are responsible for our children, our women. And so when these things go awry, we have to answer because they're supposed to be under our leadership and our providence and our protection. And so when things aren't going right, we are directly to blame. We have to we have to take the responsibility and figure out where things went wrong, what's going on with the leadership, why these things are breaking down. As men, we are supposed to do that, and that's not happening. Men are um, putting aside their responsibilities, and not only putting aside their responsibilities, many of them have turned against us. Period. They say, "Okay, I don't want to. accepting the responsibility, or I don't want to be held accountable for what's going on. So let me go and get over to the other side. This is why you have men now crying about there's accountability on both sides. It is not accountability on both sides. Everything starts with the man. It begins and ends with us. And if you aren't the leader that you're supposed to be, and your community falls in ruins and people become corrupted, then that is your fault as a leader in that community. And the accountability is yours alone. You cannot say there's accountability on both sides when people are following you. Now, if someone decides to blatantly get up and leave your community and do something elsewhere, that's one thing. But when they are in your community following you, it's your leadership that they are affected by. And if your leadership is piss poor, it's terrible, then that's going to yield negative response. I mean, negative results, and that's your fault. So all of this for being too hard on black men, all of this I hate black men. You guys can miss me with all that. I don't even know what that means. We have to take responsibility, period, as black men. Okay? And stop with all of this. Well, you hate black men, and you, first of all, why we have so many men, black men, speaking out against black women? That's problematic in itself. You act as though the black woman has taken up arms against us, and she hasn't. She's still with us. She's still by our side. You still have black women right now getting behind black men, even though some of these brothers are some of the most disrespectful and ungrateful bastards you've ever seen. You still have women trying to get behind them, trying to find a way to reconcile with them. And you know what? And that's like the mothering nature in women, right? Women are very loving, and they think that these men are boys, and they're trying to work it out with them. They probably feel that if they have a presence over there, that they would be eventually that they would change. Even you have the manosphere, as much as they hate women, you got women over there trying to fit in with them. I mean, so I don't understand how you can say that the black woman is a devil and the black woman is no good, when even though you are a disrespectful bastard and you're ungrateful and you're saying some of the coldest things anyone has ever said about another human being, you're saying these about black women, and they're still over there trying to support you. They're still over there hoping that they can change your mind, hoping that their presence and their love will rub off on you and you will change. You understand? So I don't understand. Lady Dane, am I missing something here?
No, you're not missing anything. It's just that a lot of these dudes on YouTube are not men as you know them. They're not men, They males, they boys in grown up bodies, they children in grown up bodies. Um they spoiled, they soft, they they weak emotionally, weak uh, physically, some of them, and they weak in self control. They weren't taught how to be men and fathers and leaders in the community. Either they didn't have anybody to teach them, the men in their life didn't teach them properly, or they just didn't care and could give a care. You know, they're gonna do their own thing. I'm not listening to my pops, my uncles, or whoever. I'm gonna do what I want to do. You do have those that are like that too. You know,
Well, I don't know. I'm just. I guess I'm gonna stop thinking about this because I just wanted to address it because I get it so much, right? You know that I hate black men, and you know either I hate black men or I I'm too hard on black men. Which is really weird to me. It's not something that I really think about. Um, so I decided to address it today because it's beginning to be a little bit too much. I'm getting too many responses, you know, and I want to come on here and talk about it with y'all because I don't think I'm being hard at all. Matter of fact, I don't think I'm being anything except truthful. This is the way we're supposed to be. We're supposed to be um, men of responsibility, and we're supposed to accept our responsibilities. And if we're being irresponsible, we are supposed to deal with that, but not run away from it or blame somebody else for our irresponsibility. There's supposed to be automatic self accountability. Boys, men are self accountable. Boys blame other people. That's what little boys do. That's why little boys get butt whoopings when they're young because they're not self accountable. They look to blame someone else. That's why that has to be disciplined out of them. That's the whole purpose of a butt whooping, to discipline these things out of a young boy. If not, then he'll grow up to be a sissy bit more, a manosphere type dude. He'll grow up to be anything other than a strong man. All right. And you even have some of these old heads who know better that have given in to mental and emotional weakness. I hear guys my age, a little bit older, talking about this accountability on both sides when they should know better than that. So they've given into mental and emotional weakness. So give me your take on that, Dane.
okay, they just don't want to admit that they gave up on being men. They don't want to be men. They don't want the responsibility of being a man. They want the perks. They want the, but they don't want to work to be a man. They don't want the hard work that comes with being a man. They don't want the responsibility of being a man. They don't want the leadership of being a man, which goes back to accountability. They want the accountability. That's why they keep trying to halfen their load by saying uh, uh, there was wrong on both sides. They trying to halfen their load. They trying to give away their responsibility because it's too hard. That's why they're trying so hard to be women, because they think we have it easier.
Hmm.
Hmm.
I never thought I'd see the day that men would try to be women so openly and so freely and so frequently. I mean, this is crazy, you know.
Yeah.
But it is what it is, and I just, I don't know. I'm just a little bit confused right now. That's why I'm not my usual self because this has really made me think. Like, man, what is going on out here to where, as men, we can't be responsible, and that we have to, that we've gotten to a point where we feel that we should be coddled, that we should be patted on our head, and that we should give in to weakness. Like the easy thing to do is to give in and say, well, white supremacy made us this way. White supremacy made us that way. Okay, you can say that, but at some point, you have to begin to reverse the damage. It's like if you have a roof, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that roof springs a leak, and then there's water in the house. And then you continue to let water come into the house every time it rains. And someone asks you, hey, man, why is water constantly in your house every time it rains? Well, you know, the elements tore a hole in the roof. That's why the water keeps coming in. Well, are you going to repair the roof? Or you going to? No, I'm not because the elements did it. So I'm not going to do anything about it. I'm going to let the hole stay there in the roof. I didn't put it there. The elements did it. It's the elements' fault that the roof has a hole in it. I'm not going to do anything to fix the hole in the roof. I'm going to continue to let the hole stay there. And that's what we're doing when we are constantly relying and trying to live our life because of what white supremacy did to us. We're not trying to repair the hole in the roof. We are letting the hole stay there and let the hole get bigger when we should be repairing the hole in the roof. So how long are we going to sit up here and say, white supremacy did this to us now? If we're saying that, then that means we have the knowledge of what has been done to us, right? So if we have that knowledge on what has been done to us, then we need to fix what has been done to us. We need to reverse what has been done to us. When are we going to do that? When are we going to say, hey, let's figure out how to stop hating each other. Let's figure out how to stop beating up our women and killing our children. Let's do something to reverse this damage. White supremacy has us hating each other. How do we stop it? See, it's not enough to just say we need to stop doing it. Well, we know we need to stop doing it. But when are we going to make the efforts to stop doing it? Many of us know that we need to stop doing it. Many of us know that it came from white supremacy. All right, so what do we do about it? We continue to let it stay that way. And I think that's where this comes from when they say that I'm being too hard on black men, because I guess we're supposed to let it stay this way. We're supposed to let black men continue to be irresponsible. We're supposed to continue to let black men be absentee fathers and not say anything about it or do anything about it. Never correct it. We are supposed to continue to let black men spew hatred for black women and teach young boys to hate black women and blame it on white supremacy. At some point, as black men and as leaders, when do we take it upon ourselves and say, hey, We have to reverse this. We need to come up with a way to start getting this turned around. When do we do that? And that's what my issue is. At some point, we have to stop doing that. At some point, we have to fix the hole in the roof. Dave?
Yeah. And there's a lot of people feeling it. Like they know there's a hole to be fixed. They just don't know how to fix the hole. Some of them are frustrated because they keep hearing people talking about fixing the hole, that the hole need to be fixed. The hole is there, but they're not hearing how to fix the hole. What they need to do or what they need to have to start repairs on the hole. Okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah. They getting a little frustrated when they got the stuff they need to fix the hole. They start fixing the hole, and then somebody comes over and tears the hole back open again, or make it worse. Or they trust in somebody else to repair the hole.
Well, T. Washington says it's an ongoing fight. We black men are fighting and working to prepare and improve the community. It's a multifaceted fight that is currently going on. Well, I guess that would be kind of interesting if there was actually any results from that multifaceted fight. We're not yielding any results, not even tiny results. And if there are tiny results, they're too tiny. They're too tiny to affect anything. It's kind of like if we take one step forward, we're taking 3 steps backward. If the answer isn't to accept the truth, then what is the answer? Because some of you would say, well, pointing out the fact that black men are irresponsible, that isn't the answer. Well, if that's the case, then how was the answer downgrading black women? How was that the answer? It's an ongoing fight. We black men are fighting and working to repair and improve the community. I would like to know what community he's talking about. And where are these efforts that are yielding any kind of results? Because at some point we have to start yielding some results. We can't just say we're fighting. We can't say that we have boots on the ground because it sounds like something cool to say. See, you can't continue to say we're fighting in the community. It doesn't look like we're fighting anywhere. We still have people murdering our women, murdering our children. It seems like it's getting worse. So where is this fight? You see, that just sounds like rhetoric. If you look at what T. Washington says, that just sounds like worthless rhetoric because we don't see any of this anywhere. What we see are things getting worse. So where are these black men that you say are fighting this multifaceted fight?
You saw the next thing he said, you are an example of some of us fighting. I'm not talking about suckers who attack women. And then he goes, aren't you fighting?
I'm absolutely fighting. Absolutely. And I'm fighting hard. But the problem is I can't get brothers to fight with me because we have too many. Well, there are some brothers in here I'm not talking about the brothers that roll with me in here, like the Hassans and the Kendalls and the Briggs. But am I making the difference? It's not enough. We need more. We have to start yielding results. We just can't say that we're fighting and we don't see any at some point. Okay, when you look at a fight, somebody has to lose the fight and somebody has to win the fight. Sometimes fights are fought to a draw. But we don't have a win, we don't have a draw, but we do have losses. And it seems like the losses are piling up. And the losses are outweighing the wins. Because when we have brothers in the community that are shooting women and killing babies and killing their mothers, those are losses. And if we have those kinds of losses piling up all over the place, then either we're not fighting hard enough or we're not fighting the right kind of fight, because it doesn't do anything to stop or deter what's happening in our communities. What's happening in our communities right now is absolutely atrocious. See, I'm not all about this talking about, saying that I have boots on the ground, saying that I'm fighting, but the losses are still piling up. So at some point, we have to find a way to fight to eliminate these losses. We got to start racking up some wins. Right now, we're not racking up any wins. Again, we got black men killing black women. We got black men killing black children. We got black men killing black women, children, and black mothers. Now, I don't want to hear about, well, this happens in every race. This happens everywhere. I don't care nothing about that. I care about what's going on with us. If it happens everywhere with other races, that's on them. It shouldn't be happening to us. We should care enough about our people that it's not happening in our communities. See, when we bring these type of situations out and put them in the front, and people respond with, well, it's happening to other races, that tells me that you don't care anything about your own race. I don't care what's happening in other races. It shouldn't be happening in our race. During a war, some of the best of us will be a part of those losses. We have to recognize our brothers who are putting in the effort to get at this beast. Yeah, but let me explain something to you, right? Which beast are you talking about? There's two of them now. There's two of them. And one is and one of them is absolutely more dangerous than the other. So which one are you talking about? Or did you know that there are two beasts now? Because there's definitely two of them now. There's more out there, but I'm only focused on two. The two that are directly affecting us. There's a white one and there's a black one. The black one seems to be doing more damage than the white one. There's a black beast now roaming around in our communities, bringing about senseless death. All right, well, white supremacy is going to be there. We got time for that. But the beast I'm talking about is that black one that y'all don't want to talk about, y'all don't want to address. And every time we turn a blind eye to that black beast, more of our women and children and mothers lose their lives to the hands of that black beast. Because it seems right now that that black beast is taking more lives than the white one. I can't tell you how many articles me and the Lady Knight have come across to where that black beast is threatening to wipe out our communities. It's threatening to rid our communities of black mothers and children. It's almost like that black beast has been sent to purge our community and our society as black people. You know, our own shortcomings versus, well, I don't know about shortcomings. There's a little bit more than just shortcomings, Mr. Washington. This is an absolute enemy within that we're not dealing with, that we're trying to cover up, that we're saying that, you know, when this is pointed, when this is brought out into the open, we get apologists of this black beast, and we're trying to blame white supremacy for this black beast running around, ending the lives of our women and children. Me and Dan was looking at an article where a black man shot his 3-year-old child 3 times, as if his 3-year-old child's life was nothing. So this has to be addressed. We need to deal with this black beast who's in line with white supremacy. The black beast that's on social media, that's banging against our women, that's promoting unhealthy, promoting unhealthy thoughts about our women and children, because now it's starting to trickle down to young black men who hate black women. And it's even starting to affect the young black women too, because they're looking at it like this here. The man that's supposed to protect them is now harming them. I've said before, as black men, we are supposed to be the protectors of our women and children, not their murderers. And not enough is being done about that. You have a lot of brothers and sisters who are in league with white supremacy. You have the entire conscious community. You have the manosphere. You have red pills. You have SYSBMs. These are all agents of white supremacy. These are all agents that are fighting against black people. And we're trying to cover up for them. We're trying to excuse them. We're trying to give them some kind of excuse to operate in our communities. And they're hitting us where it hurts because they are the closest to us. So they are definitely striking a blow for white supremacy. So they are the immediate threat that needs to be dealt with. White supremacy is going to be there. We can get to white supremacy anytime we want, but we need to deal with this immediate threat right now that's causing some serious issues. Because they are hurting us, because they are the closest to us. They are murdering our children. They are murdering our women. That needs to be dealt with first before we do anything else. That has to stop. It's a little bit more than shortcomings. Your take, Lady Jane, what do you think?
Um, when it gets to that part, that's not shortcoming. That is uh, a mental dysfunction.
Well, the people on social media, your Manosphere, your SYSBM, your Red Pill guys, your MGTOWs, and the entire conscious community, they have created an impossible situation with their infectious rhetoric, especially the Manosphere that spews nothing but hatred and disdain towards black women. And they have a contingent of young boys listening to them, a large contingent of young men in the age between 19 to 25 listening to them. And now they have taken it to the street. They have taken that mentality to the street. And they believe that the black woman's life has no value because this is what's been taught to them by the manosphere. And so they are attacking women, believing that there will be no consequence.
Yeah. And one of the guys that killed his girlfriend and her mama use a term that the Cispins use.
Yep, he used the term that the SYSBM guys use. They are affecting this younger generation of black men. You can sit up here and try to say, well, who are these guys? They're just guys on YouTube. Not anymore. Because the rhetoric that they're spewing is starting to trickle down into the minds of young black males who are taking these guys seriously. Go ahead, Dan.
Yeah. And also I think he's taking seriously what they say about they want to see black women in the pool of their own blood. That's why he wanted them to click the likes.
Oh, yeah, that fool. That's the one that put a hole in the woman's head the size of a softball.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I still get nauseated when I think about it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it broke my heart when I saw that.
Mm-hmm.
You do that to a person. And
Yeah.
all that stems from hatred. Now, watch the chat for me. Tell me what is he saying.
He hadn't said anything new. Um, Hassan said the enemy without I'm familiar with. It's the enemy within I'm familiar with.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
Right now we have an enemy that is right next to us, that's close to us, that is striking powerful blows for white supremacy.
Mm-hmm.
And we
Yeah,
need to focus on that. You got it, Dave.
we have men that showing signs of their weakness. They emotionally weak. So they crawl into their ex-girlfriend window and kill her and her new man. His ex-girlfriend, not a current girlfriend. Ex. 2 or 3 of them done this.
And you know where this comes from? This comes from the emotional weakness that's being displayed by the so-called leaders of our community. And then we also have men who authored several books that they call Mac books or pimp books. These books teach young men to hate women, to abuse women. They teach boys to devalue the lives of women. These aren't good books for our young boys to be reading.
Yeah. Yeah, it's also I think the basis of these whole sector men who want all these wives, but they want the wives to do all the work. While they sit back and collect the money and preach to more men who believes like they do. Oh, he asks, are you referring to Tariq Nasheed?
It don't matter if I'm referring to Tariq Nasheed. It doesn't matter if I'm referring to Fluky Stokes, Bishop Don Juan, Iceberg Slim. Max and pimps are agents of white supremacy. Understand, when you turn against your own people and you are doing things at the detriment of your own people, then you are a agent of your enemy. And it doesn't matter who write these books. These aren't books that our young boys should be reading because they teach our boys the nature of hating women.
Yeah, and we got men who are physically weaker whining that they're not being chosen. We got men.
And I'm sorry. And yeah, speaking of that,
Mhm.
Mr. T. Washington, we've gotten to the point now to where we even have situations where the women are braver than the men. Explain that. How did that happen? That's not supposed to be. We have black women out there fighting on their own against an entire race of Korean men. And those Korean men are supported by their women, where the black woman is not supported by her men. And this is the problem I have with brothers who think that pimps are good for the black community. They think that pimps do good things in the black community. They think that pimps put out work in the black community that's supposed to be acceptable. Maybe they throw a few dollars around, feed a few people, and then we accept them as upstanding men in our community when they are not. They're absolutely the worst of the worst. And these are somebody our boys definitely shouldn't be listening to. And we shouldn't be reading any literature that come from these types of men. The women are in that game because the men are in that game. The women are following the men. If you want to correct the women, you have to correct the men first. The women are only in that game because the men are in it. Women didn't start pimping. Men did. Go ahead, Dave.
Oh, let's see. And let's see. And then we got men who are financially weak. They're making children before they can afford to take care of them, or they 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 so financially weak that they being broken down by child support.
Now, there is no women I need to talk to because I understand the truth of the matter. The women are following the men. If there are any women in this game, it's because there are men in it. The women are reactionary. They're going to follow what the men do. You see, the problem is that the problem that Mr. Washington is having is that he refused to accept the fact that men are at fault. This is someone that just don't want to see the truth about how powerful the leadership of a man really is. And when that leadership goes awry, everything becomes corrupted. So this is just a brother that don't want to accept the fact that men are responsible and men are at fault. Like I said, you want to deal with the women, you have to correct the men. You can't correct the women and don't correct the men. It won't work. They won't self-correct because the man is wrong. That game is a world that's been created by black men. And that's not something that we even should be proud of. You sound like you're proud of that. You sound like you're proud that we've created a situation that corrupts our young boys and girls. Here you in here trying to sound all intellectual, like you know so much, but don't understand corruption. Sitting up here trying to glorify a cesspool that was created by us that does nothing but corrupt the young minds of our women and children, our boys and girls. That's all it does. And here you go defending. Didn't you and I have a back and forth a while back about you defending pimps? And you say that you wasn't? Sounds like you're doing it again. No, we're not putting words in your mouth. We got words right here that you're typing yourself. So unless you are taking the words out of your mouth and putting them back in, I'm not sure who's putting words in your mouth. So no one's going left. We're dead on. We're responding to the things that you say. My Black Yard, what's up? Black Power. Now here you have a woman in Africa, Mr. T. Washington, that's telling you that black men are failing globally. See, you don't get it. You're one of them guys who just want to make excuses because you don't want to accept the fact that you are a complete and utter failure. There's nothing wrong with acknowledging that. What's wrong with it? What's wrong is not doing anything about it. See, you can be a failure. You can fail. But understand why you failed and correct the failure. Not continue. Then go on mute.
Okay.
Correct the failure. Want to correct the failure. Want to be better. Don't continue to enable the failure. And if you have women in that game, matter of fact, I wouldn't even have said anything like that. Because if there are women in that game and they are as corrupted as the men, that's because you led them there. Easy. All you got to do is hit the link. Now, don't come up here sounding like no sissy, okay? I don't want to hear nothing about, I don't want to hear no crying. Now, we're going to have a real talk. I got no problem with that, but you're going to come up here and cry and, you know, and whine about women. It's not going to go good for you. I'm just giving you a heads up. There's the link in the chat. What's up, Lucy? Lucy, you want to come on up and kick it, drop it, tell us what's on your mind? Understand something, y'all. My black yard, she's in Africa right now.
You hear me?
Yeah. Okay, Dave, flip the screen so we can see who's up here. There we go. You're on, Mr. T. Washington.
Yeah, I wanted to join the conversation because when I make a comment, I'm noticing the extra stuff added on to the comment. Now, I understand that when someone says something, or if someone happened to make a comment in the past, it's easy to assume the context into what a person was trying to say versus asking a person extra questions like, all right, what do you mean by XYZ? What did you mean when you said this? Versus, well, it sounds like you're trying to say this. And I think that's unfair. You know what I'm saying? Like, I respect you, bro. I know we had our back and forths in the past where, you know, it got heated and all that, but I wouldn't do that to you. Like, if I misunderstood where you was coming from, I would ask you more questions. Did you mean this or did you mean that? You know what I'm saying? Because I actually respect where you're going with this. I respect that shit. You know what I'm saying? We may have a different view or a different approach to how we want to improve the community. But if I misinterpret what you're saying, or if I don't understand what you're saying, I'm going to ask you more questions because I don't question your intent. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of why I wanted to get on. And hey, how you doing, Dame? If you on there, y'all hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay.
So go ahead.
All right. So
Point taken.
let me start out with the community thing, because initially we was talking about black men and how a lot of brothers is falling short and even becoming or are a part of the problem. And absolutely, I recognize that. There's some brothers in the community that need to be, in my opinion, who need to be handled physically on a certain level. Like, I wish we had a certain code to where if certain brothers step out of line in a certain way, we handle them in a way where, I mean, I know law enforcement have their place, to do what they're supposed to do, but I feel like if we had a certain code in the community and a way of going about things where we handle these dudes, things would improve. So I understand where you're getting at, where you and Dame and the others are getting at when it comes to checking black men who are fucking up. At the same time, I think we have to recognize and big up and promote black men who are doing good things for the community. Because even though we got some fuck ups, we do have a lot of good black men and women who are doing good things for the community. It's just that one of the things that's been used against the community is there are outside influences who figured out a way to create a gender war within our community where you got a lot of sisters talking about, oh, black men are this.
What happened? Dame?
Distraction to us improving the community.
Is he going in and out, y'all?
Yeah, he's going in and out.
You know what? I'm gonna pause and I'm gonna go off of what y'all response. I'm sure y'all probably missed some of what I said, but I'm gonna take a pause right now. Y'all go ahead.
Okay, because you went in and out there.
All right.
All right, everybody, let's welcome to the panel one of our very own E Nation in Africa, our sister, our beloved sister, Lucy. What's going on, Blackyard?
Peace, 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 Max. What's good? What's good?
What's
Dang,
up? What's up?
how you doing? Everybody, what's good, sis? Long time, long time. You know,
Uh-huh.
the lights finally came back on and the Wi-Fi came on and I seen y'all was live. So I say, man, let me take this time out right here and come up.
All right.
What's good, brother? It's brother. What's the brother name?
That's T. Washington.
You watching? Oh, okay, okay, okay. What's good, brother?
Hey, how you, Ma? I'm doing good. How you doing?
I'm well.
All
I'm not
right.
in the States, so
Oh, that's cool. You in the land where it started. That's what's up.
yeah, but it ain't that easy. It ain't that easy. It's heartbreaking being over here, seeing the state of our men and our sisters are at a point where we're looking for a place of refuge, and we think that we're going to find it on the continent, and we can't. But there's a whole nother dynamic that we need to understand that's going on over here. And the Western mindset is definitely being pushed over here heavy. If I had to rate Ghana, I would say they in about 1989, like the late 80s, early 90s, when they started corrupting our communities, our music, and our streets. The only thing they don't have is the guns. You know what I'm saying? But the music influence is starting to come in. The drugs is starting to come in. The homosexuality is coming in. You know, it's a lot going on, and it's like I've been sent back in time, but it's like what can I do? So, you know, a lot of us sisters, we come over here. Some coming to looking for their kind. Others coming here to look for a better life for our children because we know it's gonna be very hard to get in America. And to see our men just as broken, maybe even if not more. I still don't know which one's worse, the Black American man or the African man. I'm not sure which one is broken more. I'm not even sure if I can even compare because the colonization is just, it's amazing. And when I hear brothers, blame black women, it's like, what y'all want us to do? What y'all want us to do?
Those are suckers, sister. Like not to cut you off. Only a sucker ass
Suckers
nigga gonna
to
sit
a
up there
percent.
and
Give
talk
it
about
90%
black
suckers though, bro.
women like that. That's sucker
90%
shit.
suckers. It's
What's that?
90% suckers. Some women might say the percentage is higher, but I would say 85 to 90% suckers globally.
Whoa.
If you want
Okay,
to,
all right. You said 80 or 90% are suckers. That's what you're saying?
you saying these type of dudes that don't stand up and do what they supposed to do, take self accountability. You know what I'm saying? That they suckers. Then I would say then 85 to 90% of black men are fucking suckers. Yeah,
O-
'cause
Okay, all
you
right,
got
all right.
you sound
I
like a
get you.
proper dude. You one. Max is a proper dude. That's two. Hassan Burton in the chat. That's three. We got a few other brothers that be in the chat. That's 4 or 5. There's a couple other brothers. I'm gonna go ahead and say in the task. That's like six. I mean, how? I mean, it's like a woman. You can ask any black woman. She can count on one hand how many brothers that she know that's upright brothers, right? And if we put them together, man, it's like probably 10% of y'all that's correct. So it's the 10% versus the 90% suckers.
Okay, all right. I get what you're saying. Well, let me ask you this question on that because
I
I
need
understand your
that.
frustration as a sister. Now, is it fair to put out a number like that? Not 80, 90%. Because that's a high percent. Hold on. And when sisters say something like that, because I've heard that before. When black women say something like that, one of the things I ask them sometimes is, has your father or the men in your family disappointed you to a point where you can comfortably say that, or are you responding to a couple of fuck boys on social media who got platforms who give the appearance of that? And the reason why I say this is because me as a black man and the black men that I'm associated with in the streets, people I grew up with, people who've done good, going to college and all of that, and some of my dudes who didn't necessarily go to college and who made bad decisions, but who eventually got themselves out of that, who are great fathers and who are doing things, small things that make a big difference in the community that don't get headlines. Like I see a lot of good brothers out here and I'm not making excuses, but I see a lot of good brothers out here. So that's why when sisters say things like 80, 90%, I don't know about that. But I have to respect your personal experience, and there's a reason why you're saying what you're saying. So go ahead.
Okay, I appreciate that feedback. I appreciate that. So it's actually more than one or two or three perspectives that I can speak from. First of all, my father, he's retired now, but he made very good money. My father was into HVAC. He used to work for Circuit City. Then when Circuit City closed down, he moved to SIDS. He does HVAC. He made more in overtime than he did in his actual pay. He actually made 6 figures in overtime. He made less in his regular time. So let me say that. Um, I've also had my uncles around to also be a masculine influence on me. I was raised to do my chores, get my schoolwork done. I couldn't bring nothing less than a B home from school. And that was encouraged through the male figures in my family. So I grew up with a male presence in my life, and that's why the type of woman I am. See, a lot of dudes, they hear my voice and they want to say, oh, I sound masculine or whatever. It's because of what was instilled in me. And also I went into the military. So I have a very high respect for men and masculinity and your position in life as a man. Let me say that first and foremost. And that's why I come at men the way I do. It's because I understand the position of where a man is supposed to be. Now, let me speak from my perspectives. My father didn't do everything he was supposed to do, even though he had that money. Now, my mother played a part in that. Okay, I'm not going to deny that. All right, whatever they issues was they issues. I had other male figures in my life, like I said, my uncles, to bring up the part where my father got tired of my mom and her shit or whatever, and he decided to be somewhere else. But it never stopped him from being a successful man. Okay, let me say that. Another perspective I can say is what I see in my community. What I see on a daily basis in my community. And I wasn't raised in the projects. Some people think I was raised in the hood in the projects. Actually, I wasn't. I was raised in a neighborhood where it was a bunch of old people that had money that bought their houses back in the 60s and built the community there, because I actually still live where the Black Wall Street was in my state. Excuse me. So I have a understanding of how, and I've got to see how Black people operate in a community that's not in poverty. You feel me? Not I wouldn't say affluent and got no money, but I never needed I never had to ask for anything. It was plenty of days that I had to eat beans and wieners and tomato sandwiches and shit like that, but I never had to worry about anything. So let me say that. But what I've seen in my community and the type of schools that I went to, I've gone to white schools and predominantly Black schools. I put my children in white schools and predominantly Black schools. So I've been on both sides of the spectrum, and also with me going into the military. And now I'm in a whole different community, And I'm seeing similar weakness from the men. Now, you also brought up a perspective of past relationships and my own personal choices. Yes, I can speak from that too. But I also can speak from people that I've seen that are married and what they're going through. People that are baby mamas and what they're going through and how people end up as baby mamas. There are a lot of irresponsible as men out here, as well as women. But the women are not the pillars of the community. The women are not expected to be leaders of the community. So the women are to be led by example, right? So where are our examples? So when a Black woman asks, where is the example that we're supposed to follow? The social media niggas, what they talking about comes later. I already know these is a bunch of lame ass dudes that ain't got no life. We already know what type of dudes these is, because I've never met these type of dudes in real life. I've met a lot of good brothers. I know a lot of good brothers. I got 5 good brothers I can call right now, and their issue is they attracted to the wrong chicks. But how do we fix that though? You know what I'm saying? How do we fix that though? There is a sickness in our community, and we need to identify that, because again, now that I'm in a whole different community that's predominantly Black, that's 99.9999999% Black, and I'm seeing the same pathology. I'm seeing the same mental state. I'm seeing the same weakness in our people on both sides, man and woman.
And I definitely get your point, and I understand where you're coming from.
So
Now,
what we do, if the man is the leader, if we live in a patriarchal society,
I
which
get all that.
I'm against that, and that's a whole nother discussion unless you want to get into it. But if we're to follow the man, where is the leadership? Where is the Black male leadership? Because I don't see it in Ghana.
Okay, I get that.
I don't see it
Start
in
by
America.
saying. Let me start by saying this. You said you grew up in a little more of a affluent community, which is
I wouldn't
above,
say I wouldn't say affluent. I would
but
say
it wasn't
it,
hood.
yes. Now it wasn't a poor. It wasn't a poor community. I would say upper poor class, lower middle class. I
Okay,
was
okay, okay.
where we paid our bills,
All right.
and I didn't know I was poor. No, I would say that
Oh, okay. Well,
I didn't know I was poor. Let me say that.
all right. So let me say this, because sometimes when I respond or I comment on things like this, it's assumed that I'm somehow defending or making excuses for the black community. All right, now, first off, I was born in a really tough situation. You know, and I'm sure you're aware of the early '80s and how that whole thing went down. I grew up in that era where
Yes.
the things I remember. See, when you're young at that time, that seems normal. I
Mm.
remember growing up in the projects and being in certain situations and witnessing certain things in the family and certain things that seemed normal to me when I was young. But now, being a 40 plus year old man, looking back on that, I'm like, God damn, like, we went through some shit,
Right.
but of course, when you're young and you come up in that situation, young people don't know what's the norm and what's supposed to be. They know there's a difference between this situation and that situation, but in most ways, when you're young, coming up poor, a lot, and you just said it, you don't know you're poor. Sometimes, situations like that. Now, part of the reason why I may appear that I'm defending what is perceived as negative in the community is because I've seen that side of it. I've seen the poor side. I've seen the side that
Hey,
judged.
bro, I don't need no
Ho- ho-
prelude. Spit it out. I don't need no prelude. I'm a very intelligent woman. Just spit it out, bro. Speak the facts and the truth out. This gangster talk. Speak it out. You don't need no prelude. Speak it out.
Hold on. All right, so like, what are you saying? Like,
I mean, I feel like you're giving a prelude and you're giving the excuses of why you want
no,
to say
no,
what
no.
you
Here's what it is. Here's what it
want.
is. Here's what it
Yeah,
is. All right. Hold up, hold up.
to it,
Here's
bro.
what
Let's
it
get
is. No, no. All right, cool, cool, cool. I got you. Nah, cause the initial thing that was said about me and the shit that's said about me a lot is, oh, this nigga be making excuses about punks in the streets in the hood or whatever. And it's not me making excuses about the shit. Like I'm on this side of it, so I can give a perspective that may not be understood from somebody who don't know nothing about it. So
right.
so when when somebody from outside of that make comments like, "Yo, these type of niggas is fucking up the community and they like this and they like that." No one is making excuses for motherfuckers who making bad decisions in the community. But at the same
You got
time,
to do. That's what these.
wait, what you saying?
You got these high. So you talking about Hasidity ass niggas though? I completely understand. Niggas got to do what they got to do in the hood. Cause we could talk about what niggas is doing over here in Ghana to do what they got to do to make it. Niggas got to do what they got to do to make it.
Yeah, like, and I'm not even making excuses for like motherfuckers who make bad decisions. I'm not saying, oh, they're justified necessarily, but at the same time, I've been on that side, and anybody who hasn't lived that life, or anybody who has, let's say, they had a little bit of struggle in their life, and they've made good decisions, and it was hard, and they eventually made it, those exact people still can't are really not justified in pointing back at somebody that's in the hood that's really going through some shit, who has to make certain decisions to survive. They're really in no moral position to really be saying, oh, why the fuck they ain't doing it like that, or why they ain't doing it like this. My question to that type of person would be, while I'm proud of you as my brother or my sister, I am proud of you that you've made it to X level. You know what I'm saying? And I'm behind you because you're my brother and you're my sister. But at the same time, I've lived this other side and I've seen the intricate shit. I've seen the extra shit behind the scenes to have to live this kind of life and to have to make certain decisions to survive to where,
bro.
you know what? Even
Bro,
though that's not right,
bro,
damn, I
let me
do understand. You know what I'm saying? So we can't be quick to just like always put our people down like, yo, they
Why
let me
shouldn't
not?
be
let me
doing this. They shouldn't
Why
be.
not?
They shouldn't be. But
Why
no no
not?
no no
Why
no
not? Why not?
there's
Hold
a
on,
way
let
we
me
can
jump in.
go
Let me
about
jump in. Let
our
me
shit.
jump in here real
You know
quick.
what I'm saying?
hold on, let me
Why
interrupt
not?
for a second.
Go ahead.
No, but I'm gonna tell you why not. I'm gonna tell you why not, Max. I'm glad you asked that. Because the type of niggas that he talking about, the type of niggas I like to call them conscious gangsters. You know what I'm saying? Okay, those the type of niggas that we need on the continent right now. I would love to have at least, if I could have at least one nigga, gangster thug ass nigga from the hood that got a conscience. You know what I'm saying? That wants something better for his life. But he because of the card, the hand that he was dealt, you know what I'm saying? He had to go through and do what he had to do. Man, I would love to have that nigga next to my side right now because the shit I've been through in Ghana, that's what I need right now. That's what I need right now. You understand? See, see see these Neanderthals, these Mazungos, they think they done put us to in my mind, they think that they put us in a bad position and you did. But see, if we can get our minds right and see what the fuck's going on around us, we can use what the hell this motherfucker put us in. We can use what they gave us when we look at it, it ain't shit. We can turn that around and use it as a fucking benefit. Because I'm telling you, man, these dudes over here weak as fuck. And
And peep out,
I,
and sister,
I
peep out with
need,
Dr.
I
Khalid
need
Muhammad.
a motherfucking thug next to me right now that ain't about thugging. Like he gotta be not
Yeah,
about
but
thugging no more.
yeah,
I
but I'm a
need
little
that
Dr.
love and
confused.
Khalid
unity.
was a perfect example of that.
Yeah,
But
but
go
wait a
ahead.
minute. I'm a little confused because you're talking about a situation to where you had to survive or whatever. Let me explain something to you, bro. I came up on the streets too, and you ain't the only nigga around here that done been through some hard times. That got a conscience, but it's still the choices that we make. You see, I didn't choose to hurt my people. I done been on the street. I done been homeless. I done fought my way back from nothing. And I ain't never stole from nobody. I ain't never sold drugs to nobody. I ain't never killed no woman. I ain't never shot no baby. So what you talking about?
Yeah, I ain't talking about them type of dudes.
Let me like respond to that. When you talk about shooting a baby and killing a woman,
Yeah, that's
no
right.
real street dude is on that type of shit. And as a matter of fact, most street dudes would handle that type of motherfucker and even turn him over to the law. Most street niggas don't play that shit. Like that
No,
kind of shit, that's like extra under the ground type shit. Like nobody tolerates that in the streets. And I'm not trying
thank
Mm-hmm.
you.
to justify the negativity that goes on in the streets. But what I am saying is some of these streets dudes who get a bad name or a bad rap are just as moral as the dudes who are not in the streets. They just happen to be in that situation. I know dudes who are in the streets who protect the elderly and do certain things like this and like that. So we can't broad brush them and saying because they live there or because they look like a certain image or because they speak a certain way or because they're in a certain area, they're like this. A lot of those dudes are just as moral as anybody else. As a matter of fact, one of the things I used to say that when in some of my debates is the people who cause poverty and who bring all that shit over here or whatever, they're not street dudes. These motherfuckers is in three-piece suits making like big decisions that cause money to go here or there, or whether a certain center opens up or job opportunities. Those are not street dudes making those decisions. I just don't like the fact that people who are in those areas get blamed almost for every single thing going on, when a lot of those dudes are just as moral. And I've
Bro, let me
gotten a lot of my personal morals from those
example.
street dudes. But go
I
ahead.
got, bro. I got an example. I got a homeboy right now. I don't know where he is right now. Last I heard, he in the bank. I don't know. You know what I mean? This brother, we got cool through a mutual acquaintance. You know what I'm saying? And I don't even deal with his type. And I was even surprised that the person that introduced me to them, it was their family member. So I can't even be like, damn, you hanging around people like this. It's their family member. But this man, at first I was scared of this dude because it's just how he was. He was wild. I'm like, yo, I know he one of them, street crazy street dudes. You know what I'm saying? But when he found out what type of chick I was and what I was doing and what I was going through and shit like that, man, when I say this dude made me so much money, why? Because I need to pay my tuition because I refuse to take student loans. And it was taking me way longer to get my degree because I'm not taking student loans. I'm working and saving my money, using my tax returns and shit like that to pay for my tuition. He was like, what? He was like, what? You a good girl? He said, man, give me $200. Man, this
And
dude,
he
man,
flipped
so
that shit, didn't he? And I'm not justifying it. And I'm not
man,
justifying it.
God, anybody that tried to still to this day don't nobody fuck with me around that hood because they know
And
I'm a
hold on, mama. Let me say one more thing. Let me say one more thing. Malcolm X had Bumpy Johnson in his corner. But go ahead, keep talking.
man. I mean, that's it. Like everybody know I'm his little sis. Even though I'm older than him, I'm 10 years older than this nigga. I'm his little sis. You know what I'm saying? He had niggas scared of me. I carry a concealed permit. I'm a legit person. I've been in the military. I don't have no criminal record. You know what I'm saying? He got niggas scared of me because I'm like, why the fuck you telling niggas in the street I got a concealed permit, nigga? What the fuck you doing that for? He was like, shit, these niggas dumb as fuck. They think you got a license to kill. He said, basically, I put a protection on you and I ain't even gotta be here. So I can walk, still to this day, I can walk through that damn hood. That
And,
hood. And,
Mhm.
and be
and let me add on to what you just said. Now,
man, he told me
go
pay
ahead.
for my
So y'all
whole
talking
semester.
about legitimate Pookies and Ray Rays.
Yes,
Well,
but
you
this
see,
dude
but
been
this is what I'm
speaking
talking
crazy
about.
like this
We're not
dude
talking
is.
about the Pookies and Ray Rays because the Pookies and Ray Rays, they protect the neighborhood. We ain't talking about them.
No, but they do some crazy shit too, Max. Because I'm not gonna put this dude business out here, but he did some shit, and I'm like, yo, nigga, what the fuck, nigga? Are you serious? Are you serious?
It
He's like,
depends
yo,
on what's going on in the hood at the time, right? You know, I mean, I grew up with my boy Mike. These are legitimate street gangsters, right? But they don't hurt their own kind. They don't hurt their own people. I got a
sometimes,
problem with the nigga that's out there. I got a problem with the nigga that's out there making the fucking neighborhood unsafe for my grandmother or for somebody else's grandmother or for somebody's daughter. That's the nigga I got a problem with. I ain't got a problem with this gangster that's making the way in the street, that's trying to protect the neighborhood, that's trying to steer the kids in the right direction. Got no problem with a gangster like that. It's the niggas that's out here, scaring the kids, hurting the kids, killing the baby mamas, killing our mothers. That's what I got a
gotta be
problem
dealt
with.
with. They got to be dealt with, and it should, and I think it should those conscious gangsters because they are street dudes to handle that. If you
That's
put
real
your life
too.
And
on
I agree
a,
with what the brother just said. My argument is it's more conscious street dudes than we think. Like it's really more of us out here who
yeah, but y'all
like I
scared.
ain't in that no more. I ain't in that no more. Like I'm a little older, I got my kids. I'm
That
I'm,
though.
I'm there with it. But like it's
It's
just more who are not on no crazy wild shit because those type of dudes who are who happen to be known to be doing no extra shit, those motherfuckers are not necessarily straight in the safe in the
let me ask
streets.
you, bro.
If you
Yeah,
if you
but
the
you
Let
type
see,
of
this
dude,
is
bro. Hold on. Let me ask you this, bro. What about
go ahead.
where is the street gangsters that's going after the dude that beat that sister that came out the liquor store because she um
Oh, I
declined
know
his
what you're talking about in Harlem, right?
and they beat yeah,
right.
and they beat the shit out of that woman. Where is the street gangsters that went and handled them niggas?
Okay, good question. Now that chick, the lady, and you know, my heart goes out to her and any sister who go through that shit, because I know what me and my peoples would do in that situation. The only thing I could say is I never heard anything else about that nigga since. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully they handled him, but you know, after that whole situation happened, you know, the people came out and they protest XYZ. There was a lot of people who went online, including myself, like, yo, whoever from that community, if y'all know this motherfucker and y'all gonna give this nigga a pass or y'all or he get to do something like that, that's a reflection on y'all. Like
Right.
that's you. You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
So apparently, some way it got to that community because a lot of people did come out. And me personally, I am curious to where that motherfucker at or what happened afterwards. You know what I'm saying? Because if I personally knew him or if I was in that vicinity, I'm pretty sure and I believe that most people would handle him a certain way, if not turn his bitch ass over to the cops. Because
And
you
that's what I'm
like I
saying.
personally would have did something to him, but like I'm assuming they made the right decision. But go ahead.
That's what I was saying before on my podcast. This is not something that we can't handle. We have the capacity to handle this, but it's not being handled.
Man, they ain't
Like
handling
nigga,
shit.
dude's supposed to be scared to do shit like that. You're supposed to be
That's right.
scared. And it's a lot of dudes that I know in different hoods that even though they street and they known the street, like like most people in their areas know if you're the type of person who disrespect elders or intimidate elders or terrify the kids or do stupid shit that bring fear to the community, the most gangster dudes, the most feared dudes regulate those motherfuckers. Like I'm so serious. This is why I came on because like I know a lot of these guys. And like me, that's why I'm so passionate about it. Because even me to this day, even though I got kids and I'm out of that shit, and you know, I'm trying to like raise my kids up and blah blah blah. Motherfuckers is about to graduate high school, all that. I personally would be drawn to regulate a motherfucker. Like I swear to God, I wish a motherfucker would
And you know
hurt
what?
or
You can't come to
disrespect
us
the elder
with
where I can get to you. Like,
man.
excuse
It's
my
like,
language, like seriously. And those are
and
the type of people I deal with. But go ahead, I apologize. Go ahead.
no, I love it. I love what you're saying. I love what you're saying. Cause see, this is the type of black man that I love to hear, like warrior, that warrior spirit. But guess what? When you come to the continent, you can't do it. You can't do it. You can't do it.
You
You
know
can't.
what, sister? Like I kind of been studying what's going on over there, and I think besides the brothers over there, and even other non-whites, one thing I have noticed because I try to pay attention or keep my pulse on keep the pulse of how people think and move around the world. Most people outside of Black Americans, believe it or not, are terrified of calling out white supremacy or saying something or doing too much to counter or speak out against white supremacy. A lot of them are scared. The ones who are they look at what we do in America and what we say in America, and a lot of them keep quiet. Let me give you an example. Now, whenever reparations is brought up for Black Americans, you'll get besides the few white folks who try to push shit on the side, but you'll get people from the Native American community who will say, "Oh, but what about us? Because blah blah blah." And I ain't even going to mention the whole casino and land situation, but I respond to them and I'll tell them, "Well, you're talking about what about us? How come you never directly went at the U.S. government for your shit? Why you wait for us to say something before you say something?" Same thing with Asians. Same thing with some certain parts of the Hispanic community. We Black Americans are the only group who is known for going directly at the powers that be around the world the way we do. And a lot of people, they kind of want to, but a lot of them are in fear, including our people on the continent. And our people on the continent had a slightly different experience from us over here. You know what I'm saying? But some of our great warriors, like Patrice Lumumba and some of the great ones from over there, were assassinated. And a lot of these new generation people on the continent are not, most of them are not aware of the African revolutionaries who fought. They just trying to get along. They don't want no problems. They want to get along, and they on some, you know what I'm saying, on some new shit. But you over there, so you probably know more than me. But go ahead.
I mean, what's your question?
That was more of a comment. That was more of me. Go ahead.
Right. I thought you was going.
So, are we being too hard on black men?
No, what do you mean being too hard on black men? I don't understand what that means because we
I
need to
don't either.
be at
That's
a
why I did this podcast.
accountability. No, it's about self accountability. You know what I'm saying? It's black men don't like it when black women yell and we get all upset and they're like, "Oh, you sound masculine and stuff." But look, man, god damn it. If you don't want us to fucking stand up. See, when we stand up, when women period stand up, then we're being looked at as, particularly black women, masculine
When you done, I
with
want to respond to that.
all this and all this. I mean, what else are we supposed to fucking do? You think I'm gonna sit around and wait for black men to get up and get the game board off your damn back? I know everybody's seen that damn emoji where where it's black men. Notice there's no women under that table. It's all black men under that emoji table, and it's all old white ass men playing Monopoly on their fucking back. Do you see one woman under there? It's all black men. So it's like, what are we supposed to do? So if we stand up and set an example, I mean, at what point? I mean, what are we doing here? I mean, it's so much confusion and shit going on. Do y'all see what the hell's going on in Ghana that they're pushing? They had to shut down the LGBTQ office here. I didn't even know they had a damn office here until they
Well, I
said they shut.
recently saw that. I saw something about that. That Ghana was like, nah, like get that shit up out of here. Well, let me respond to what the brother said earlier. Like he mentioned, brother, say that one more time. Say that question so I can come at it the right way. Go.
Well, my whole point of doing this podcast is because I was bombarded with responses saying that I'm too hard on black men. Am I too hard on black men? Are we being too hard on black men here?
All right.
No.
Whoa. Let me respond, sister. First of all, as a black man, I can't respond and say some shit like you're too hard on. I'm a motherfucking man. So like for me to respond saying, "Oh, you're too hard on black men," that will fuck with my soul the wrong way. Like that's like, get the fuck out of here. You know what I'm saying? So number one, no. But what I will add to that is we definitely need to check the weakness and the fuck shit that exists within us. And I want to let me do an extra stomp on that. Oh, you too hard on that shit. I want to stomp the shit out of that because that's like weak shit. Get the fuck out of here with that. But my response to that is we absolutely need to hold ourselves accountable. Absolutely. But at the same time, there is a propaganda game going on that if you look at media, Hollywood, and all this different shit that's going on, there is effort and money put behind making us look docile. Some of our strongest speakers are getting banned from countries and getting some of our strongest speakers, even within the entertainment community, are being silenced and not given opportunities because of their approach to certain things. So while we definitely need to check the fuck shit within the black community as far as black men go, we also need to recognize we do have some black warriors who are silenced and who Hollywood and certain entities are putting their money behind silencing these brothers. So it's like we gotta approach it in a multifaceted way. Stomp out the fuck niggas, get them out of here, and check them, put them on Front Street and let them know, get the fuck out of here. He don't represent us. At the same time, we have to recognize the brothers who are being suppressed, who there's money being put behind certain situations to suppress certain black voices. We got some warrior motherfuckers out there, like we really do. And there's roadblocks put in their way. So it's like we gotta like take a two-sided approach. But not to get too complicated with it. But as far as being hard on black men, hell no. That don't fit. That don't work. That shit right there don't. That's some fuck shit. You can't be too hard on a black man. We the baddest motherfuckers on this planet. That can't happen. But go ahead, brother.
I think
He dropped out for a second.
I want to respond to Mika's comment where she says that's what Max does. Check the weak stuff. That's exactly what Max does, and that's why you don't see a whole lot of black men over here. That's why the manosphere don't come over here. That's why these weak motherfuckers don't come over here. See, I watch the numbers on this channel. The numbers is good because see, it's gonna be the few that get this understanding that know what the fuck need to be going. We don't need no 10,000s of damn views or nothing like that. You know what I'm saying? We need the ones that understand what the hell's going on, that's not afraid to voice their opinions. If anybody's in this chat ever, anytime, if they're hearing the playback and you don't like something that's being said, feel free to leave your comments so we can discuss it on the next live. You know what I'm saying? We're about open discussion on like what's up and what's good for our community and what we need to do and what we need to do globally. Because like I said, me being over here in Ghana, like, oh my God,
See, a
man.
lot of them, they trying to get by. They don't want no trouble. Like those type of motherfuckers. So
And they,
yeah,
they be mad as fuck. Even if okay, I'm pretty sure y'all heard about the K squad. A lot of people was mad about them because they was talking about snacks, and that's what people focused on with the snacks. Let me tell you something. If you an American nigga, you're gonna miss these fucking snacks over here too, bitch. So don't get it twisted. Like it was some maybe people looked at it as something is childish. But if you're accustomed to eating a certain type of way, okay, you can change your diet and get healthy or whatever. But shit, it's certain things that you're accustomed to, and you're going to miss them. You know what I'm saying? So it was other things that they discussed too. That was some real shit. All of them was rosters. We get harassed over here for our hair. A lot of black Americans that have their rosy colored glasses on, romanticizing the continent, think they're gonna come over here and be free as being black. No, nigga, no, you're not. Because if you're a Rasta, because they're gonna call you Rasta whether you're not Rasta. Most of us in the West, we know what it means to be a Rasta. That's a whole lifestyle. It's not just your hair. But if you got locks, because that you wear your hair in a natural style, you wear locks, they're gonna assume that you're a Rasta and you're gonna have some damn issues over here on the continent. Yeah, on the continent. With something as simple as that. And that's a shock. So when people wanna talk shit like, oh, you need to get used to Africa because we know it's a third world country and
oh,
you
I
know
know. Or what?
things
Man,
certain
yeah,
way and all this. I mean, you come over here and you think you black and you looking at them like, oh, y'all black. They don't know what you talk about being black. They're not black. They're Ghanaian. They're Kenyan. They're
exactly
Nigerian.
because they killed off, and this is why I'm not using this as an excuse. But the revolutionaries they killed off, we do still got some strong people. We got Julius Malema in South Africa, and
Yes, that's
we got a
why.
couple of extra leaders who about that life, who represent the right way. But at the same time,
Tanzania,
unfortunately,
Rwanda. Yes.
unfortunately, most of us can be bought and sold. And there's a lot of people with a voice who have numbers and a lot of people who will listen to them. The CIA is good at what they do. We gotta recognize that shit. They are
Bro, look,
good at what they do.
taking it too far. You taking it too far. Let's talk about bought and sold. You want to talk about bought and sold? We ain't even
That's
gotta
part
go
of
to the
it. That's
CIA.
all interconnected. That's all one thing. But go ahead. That's interconnected.
Man, the things I've seen here, I'm not even sure. Let me put it this way. Let me put it this way so I don't get no tears. I'm not even sure. Actually, I probably am gonna get tears because I'm gonna probably be called arrogant or whatever because I'm American. I think I'm better, whatever the fuck. But I'm gonna say it like this to be kind. I'm not sure if I want my children to go to school with them. Cause see,
Mm.
it's like, ooh, when I came, like the benefits of finishing school here and having that completion abroad means a lot in the West. So if my children, see, I'm not just bringing my children over here to be like, oh, get away from America. We're gonna live in the bush and be happy and grow our own foods. I ain't no shea butter queen, have my hair tied up on some Erica Badu shit. I'm a realist. You know what I'm saying? I'm still gonna put my children in a position. So if they say, "Hey, mom, look, I'm 20, I'm 19, whatever. Look, I want to go back to the. I'm gonna take that chance. I want to get that education. Or let me see because of COVID, maybe I can do some shit online or whatever. Because I am American, I can apply for a university or online and do online school because they have distance learning. They've always had distance learning, but because I've completed school abroad, they can get some free scholarships to some top schools. You know what I'm saying? I still want to put them in that position. But let me tell you something, I'm not even sure if I want them to go to school with them because of the things that they do.
Let me throw something in here, sister. As far as school goes in education, because as far as education and where we need to be, one of the big parts of where we need to improve and take more serious is economics. Now, one of the things that we do in the black community that fucks us up is we repeat talking points to our young people out of high school. Once you graduate high school, you're gonna go to college. So college is almost like a pacifying thing. But what we're not realizing is a lot of people fuck around and go to college and get themselves in debt. And the so-called degree that they're going after is not necessarily the type of degree that's going to make them money
Right,
that will pay off that student loan that they took.
right,
Unfortunately, you know what I'm
right.
saying? And
Don't
and
know that.
because and
Don't
because of where technology went, and because of where employment went, a lot of those degrees that a lot of our people went to school with, some of them shits faded out due to technology. So
know.
what we need to take more serious here and over there is the trades, construction,
Yes. Let
architecture,
me tell you the
truck
advantage that we
driving.
have on that
That's
aspect.
where the money is. We can teach our people revolutionary shit at home. We need to use those structures to get money and focus on getting money so we can create generational wealth. But as far as who we are as a people and teaching our culture, that needs to be more of a focus at home because
Right.
other people control teaching
Well,
who
that
we are.
would be that would be
But
humanity. That would be humanities. So everything that you're saying as far as how the school need to be set up, that would be the core classes, and then culture and history and stuff. That would be humanities because you always have to have humanities and art and things like that. That's easy to cover. But what I want the American people to understand is when I say American people, I'm talking about us AAs, ADOs, FBA, whatever you want to call
yeah,
yourself, is that the reason why they're able to excel so well when it comes to the American universities is because the first 2 years of our universities, they learn that their junior and senior year of high school. They have a 13th grade over here. They have a
mhm,
13th grade. And so 11th, 12th, and 13th grade is what we learn in our senior year of high school, our freshman year, and sophomore year of college. Okay, so when they come over here, they're able to sort through the shit because they already ready for our senior, junior, senior year, ready to graduate. So when we talk about the education system, you know what I'm saying, it's a lot of brainwashing and stuff like that. But when you talk about mathematics and science, when I'm looking through the books over here, I'm like, damn, I was learning that. You know what I'm saying? And my clinical biology, how is they teaching them clinical biology? They teaching them regular biology and microbiology because you got microbiology and then you got clinical microbiology. You know what I'm saying? They teaching them the science and the application of the science at the same time. In the US, we only learn the science. We don't learn the application of the science. My,
Exactly, and that
that's
makes
my
my point.
Thank you. And
That
that's
partially
my I
makes
had
my
to go to
point.
university to get that. I had to go to VCU to get that. I had to go to J. Sergeant Reynolds to get the application of the science. So now I'm able to diagnose people when I look at them. That's my job. I'm a medical laboratory technologist, or some people call me a clinical laboratory scientist because I'm the one. The reason why your doctor's sitting around waiting on me to tell him what's wrong with you, but I don't make the money that he make.
Hey,
You know what I'm
peep the
saying?
game, ma. Peep the game. Notice our brothers and sisters who come from the continent. Notice when they come over here, what professions they end up getting into. They don't get into any profession. They get into lucrative professions. So they got the economics down. Cultural shit. There's a lot of work to go on because even with your economics being right, there's still strings that could be pulled that can fuck you in different ways if you challenge certain situations.
Okay,
Now,
okay. So let me stop you right
they,
there before you hold
they
that thought.
hold on real quick.
I want to speak on that.
Economics wise, they got it. But go ahead.
Yeah, yeah. Hold that thought. And I never, and let me say this, I never like to cut a man off, but I love what you're saying. And because I want to speak, I love to speak to the people in the back. You know what I'm saying? So we got to do things step by step. So I love what you just said. The knowledge that we have, we need to apply, we need to implement it. Now, this is a perfect example of how we can decipher what countries to go to, because the biggest question for Black Americans is that want to repatriate to the continent is what countries do we go to? Okay, what countries are in the US? You got number one, Nigerians. That's the number one country that they got us scared to motherfucking death. They already got us scared to come to Africa, period. But Nigeria, everybody's scared. Now let me tell y'all something. I done been on the continent. The only country I've been to is Ghana. I know other people that's been to plenty other countries, and the African continent is not scary. But why is it that they're making Nigeria so damn scary? Nigeria don't do nothing that we don't do in our own motherfucking hoods. So if you scared of getting shot, getting killed, getting robbed, and shit like that, then nigga, what? Why is you in the U.S.? So if you can handle that shit, if you can handle the shit in the hood niggas would do very well in Nigeria. Niggas that can hustle, get their like business minded motherfuckers that ain't scared. Let's go to Nigeria because they make Nigeria seem so motherfucking scary. The next country is Uganda. It's a lot of Ugandans, Sudanese, Ethiopians. You know what I'm saying? When I worked in Washington D.C. for 2 years. You know what I'm saying? And the highest population people up there is Nigerians, Sudanese, Ethiopians, Eritreans. It's East Africans. The only
Like
West African is Nigerians. You know what I'm
all I
saying?
hear from black folks from America going over there, all I hear is positive shit. Like every black person that got a YouTube channel or that I spoke to personally,
They're
all I
lying.
hear is positive shit. Like they went over there and it's not easy, but shit is better for them. They feel better, they feel safer. That's all I heard.
We do, in a sense of escaping immediate direct white supremacy. We don't have to worry about police running up on us. We can congregate in the street. We can do cartwheels in the middle of the road. We can smoke weed. We can be free. You don't have to worry about somebody looking at you because you black and fucking with you. Yes, that freedom, yes. But hey, the nigga shit. Did you forget that? See, that's one thing I think we forget
Oh,
when we
nigga
come on.
shit is universal.
Hey. And see, that's what they're not talking about. And then when you do have people like the group that I mentioned before, and it's others like R. Kathy and she won't now R. Kathy was very rude. I would say that she was very rude. She ain't had to go ham like that. She didn't have to do that. That what she said on YouTube, that's supposed to be in private AA chats. You know what I'm saying? You still respect people, you know what I'm saying? You don't go ham and talk shit on motherfuckers like you better than somebody. But if you want to call out some shit, you should not be attacked. I be attacked on my Facebook all the time. I made a post saying, I come to Ghana for peace of mind and to connect with my people, but I continually get met with disrespect by being called a white woman. I'm not white. Do you know how many motherfuckers attack me for saying that, telling me I need
I
well,
heard
you
about I heard about fuck shit like that. I definitely heard about that.
oh, I went from dealing with racism to dealing with colorism. And y'all see my picture, y'all see my AV. I'm a light-skinned chick. You know what I'm saying? And I deal with the colorism. I got chicks over here that squeeze their face at me, you want to grit on me because I'm light skinned. You know what I'm saying? Chicks that bleach
Oh,
their
that shit.
skin and
Both of you
mad
said.
actually light skinned, they squeeze their face at me. Or the ones that worship white people, they think I'm white. And so they call me white woman.
So in
You know,
some cases, I do recognize like the type of person I am. Like I'm a certain like level. Like I ain't perfect. You know what I'm saying? I got my flaws, but I have a certain revolutionary spirit. So I, if I go over there, I do fear that I might check some people in a certain way that'll get me in trouble. You know, so like I would have to be careful and strategic if I ever
yeah.
decided to go over there because I'm not
You
gonna fucking play around with people like that. Not
you
because they're necessarily, oh, you said this, that, and the third. I don't like that weak, soft sucker shit. With the
yeah.
shit that's going on with black people around the world, how we getting disrespected and undermined by not even just by whites, Arabs, everybody we getting undermined. And you coming at me on some fuck shit, but you ignore that Asian dude who fucked you over and disrespected your mama, or the Arab dude who enslaved or did that in the third, but you coming at me, I would end up slapping the shit out of one of these dudes on
And
some
they go
like how
and
you would do your family. Like I
they
would
go
like slap the shit out of my cousin. Like the
and they
fuck is
gonna
wrong with
jump.
you?
And if you by yourself, they gonna jump you. They
Oh,
gonna
I
jump
know,
you.
I know.
You know why? Because they got something. See, they got something that we don't got. They stand together. See, nigga,
Even if it's
you,
sucker shit, I
you
understand.
is a foreigner. You is gonna always be a foreigner. They gonna brother, oh brother, brother, welcome home, akwaba, akwaba. You know, welcome. Whatever country you go to, they gonna give you the welcome, 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 welcome. You know what I'm saying? Especially in what man, look, I got a homeboy right now. He's a nomad on the continent. He got a YouTube channel, but he not really posting shit because he doing some underground work right now. And man, let me tell you something. I would say from what he say, he like East Africa more, and he keep asking me to come over there. You know what I'm saying? But I got a lot invested in Ghana, and I can't leave right now. But man, let me tell you something. With that attitude right there, I'm gonna tell you because I'm the same way. Do you know how many motherfuckers that need to be slapped over this motherfucker right now? I mean, if the shit that niggas do over here, they would get their fucking ass whooped in America. Let me tell you straight. It's plenty of black Americans here that have been jumped, beaten up, you know what I'm saying? Because even if you in the right, because you don't know what time it is and you the foreigner, they're gonna come against you. I
But
almost
I
got jumped.
wonder, but I wonder how much of a white foreigner, if I was a white foreigner, that's the question I had because my impression of what goes on in certain countries and with certain people within the African family, When a
Let me
white
put it this
foreigner go over there, how come these
way.
motherfuckers are so quick to
I
be
spit,
able to get certain status like
let me tell
in
you.
the
Let
way
me.
the Asians is doing right now?
I'm
But
going to
me
tell
as
you.
a black
On the
American is
fight.
a problem?
Let me tell you. I spit on the Mzungu my second time back. See, I came in Ghana on the tour. When I came back, I'm on the whole shit. Year return, nigga. Year return, nigga. What the fuck? Get the fuck off the sidewalk, nigga. I'm home. And I'm not talking to my people. You know who I'm talking about, the Mzungus, the
Yeah,
Neanderthals. You know what I'm saying? The ones with the sunshot eyes, the little cheeky eyes. You know what I mean? All of them, get the fuck
yeah.
out, man. I'm knocking bitches off the sidewalk and everything. The little Ghanaians, they laughing and shit like that. But when I went to go, I knocked one clean off the motherfucking curb. They was laughing and shit. So I'm emboldened and they emboldened my ass. Soon as I spit on one. Oh, they was in my face. Hey, you can't act like that. You can't do that. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh. See, it depends on what country you're in. Now I'm speaking of Ghana. And Nigeria, I heard, is a little different. You know what I'm saying? You got countries that's a little different. You got countries now that's starting to respect themselves. You know what I'm saying? But in Ghana, man, look, man, I don't know what time. I'm still trying to figure out what time it is over here. What time it is over here because man, I got motherfuckers looking at me with hate because I can go in the shop, right? I can, man. I'm gonna put it to you like this. Let me break it down. Not even nothing on like nothing going and spending money that they can't spend. Nigga, I shop in the local markets. You know what I'm saying? And if I buy something from one lady, the other lady will get mad at her because she feel like she collecting all the white ladies' money. And I always buy from her. I always buy from her because her shit be straight. You know what I'm saying? She don't overcharge me. You know what I'm saying? She cool. She greet me. She got a smile on her face. You know what I'm saying? She cool. So I got people that I go to in the market. You know what I'm saying? There's other reasons why I'm consistent with certain people too, and we can get into that later. That has to deal with witchcraft and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Because yes, they do that over here. They deal with that over here. So you have to be prepared to deal with witchcraft over here too. Yes. Okay. Um, yeah, and they I know it's ladies that's going through shit in the market because I drop bread on them because of the customer service. You have a handful here. That's why I say 95%. It's 95% of the men and the women. Ain't just the men and the women. Okay? You got a handful of people that understand business over here, that know how to greet you, know how to treat you, know how to do business. You know what I'm saying? So you can come back and drop bread on them. Let me tell you, they go through some shit when we walk away. See, that's the part we don't see. They go through shit. You know what I'm saying? They be having to deal with shit with their neighbors that's selling right next to them because they see the quote unquote white woman, which is the black American or the white man, the black American. It don't matter what color you is. You could be dark as night. They're still gonna call you white because your money comes from a European country. That's why they call us white. So I'm gonna tell y'all now, get over the word Bruni when you come to it or whatever country Akata and all that come from. That all is not a derogatory term that per se. All it means is that you got foreign money. You know what I'm saying? That's more than their money. And they go through shit when you do business with people and they get jealous with each other. Man, they deal with a whole bunch of shit, man. Nigga shit.
That shit crazy because it's like I'm thinking about like everything you saying. I'm thinking about that shit, and it's like them my like like even though they might not even see me as they people, fuck them. I don't care that they don't see it, and I understand why they think that way. But at the same time, I think my way based on historical shit and why shit is the way it is. But anyway,
Pocket
that
watching.
is the reason why I have to be strategic because I feel like I would have to like pull one of the motherfuckers in the corner and not like really do nothing to him, but like let him know like, yo, like this
Yes.
ain't it. This ain't it. Like, come on. Like you got to get off this fuck shit and have a little more self-respect for you and your country. And no,
Fact.
white is not better. You are better. Like, learn to love yourself. I fuck around and won't even fit in there, and then fuck around and kick me out because I'll be a troublemaker. And I think that's the reason why the propaganda is keeping Africans and African Americans separate, because if enough of us go over there, we will fuck up a lot of shit for outsiders, for
You gonna
outside
say so?
business foreigners who go over there and exploit our people, who like talk to them any kind of way and disrespect our women and all of that. You're not gonna have no Black American men and women going over there and seeing that shit and not saying nothing. We won't play that shit. We would be troublemakers. So even our own people on that side will fuck around and be like, oh, we can't have these Black Americans, because we don't tolerate that kind of disrespect. So like, it's just fucking heartbreaking to hear the kind of shit they be on. You know what I'm saying? But go ahead.
Man, I'm telling you, they be on when we talk about pocket watching. When we talk about pocket watching, crabs in the barrel, niggas hate to see you get above them. All the negative shit that we talk about in our communities, you know what I'm saying? I'm not talking about the drugs and stuff. I'm talking about the attitudes. You know
No,
what
I
I'm
get
saying?
you.
Man, that shit is on a motherfucking thousand over here, and then you got to throw witchcraft on top of it. Cause see, this is what I can't say this is what I boiled it down to, cause I'm still learning. You know what I'm saying? But from my analysis at this point, I want everybody to hear me clearly. From my analysis at this point, cause I'm a scientist. So this is my hypothesis. That's always can be changed. You know what I'm saying? As I'm learning, I'm collecting new data. Uh, from what I see, uh, the shit that we do in the U.S. to each other is the same that they do here. The only difference is in the U.S. we got guns, and on the continent they use witchcraft. If that makes sense.
Now, when you say witchcraft, is there a name of the specific practice or culture or religion that
In West
practices this
Africa,
quote unquote witchcraft?
well, yes, in Ghana they call it juju. And from my questioning across people that I know that's in Tanzania, Rwanda, which is considered East Africa, and people that I know that's in West Africa, is the synopsis. Everyone knows what juju is. So I don't know if that's like just one sector, because in the US you got voodoo, you got all these other things, right? So I don't know how similar. I don't know anything about it, like how similar they are or whatever, but it all deals with the spiritual realm. And yeah, they in Ghana, I only can speak on Ghana. Um, they call it juju here. They call it juju, and they use that how we use guns in the U.S.
Here's the reason why I asked that question, because like I'm like 20 years away from the shit, but I used to look up a lot of shit. And one of my favorite scholars from over here is Dr. John Henrik Clark, one of the great elders. You know what I'm saying? And some of the things that I've learned about when certain outsiders infiltrated our cultures in Africa, our different cultures in Africa, it created how can I say it? We started to look at our ancient practices as a type of witchcraft or a type of wicked type of spiritual
Right,
system. And you
right.
know, and what has happened in the media is they repeated the shit and perpetuated that through movies and sayings and commercials and shit. So we got
Hmm.
to the point where if you think about, let's say, a certain African spiritual system that we're unfamiliar with, we are automatically subconsciously associated with something wicked or evil
Right,
or something like that.
right.
That's why I asked
Right.
you that question.
Right.
And
Now I
they
don't look
may
at
be real quick. They may be at a point where what the original spiritual system of that culture. And keep in mind, we had a lot of infiltration through the Arabs and Europeans and different people coming in there and doing different shit and reprogramming how our people think. Keep, I wouldn't. Let's not dismiss the fact that that thinking hasn't infiltrated the way we approach our spiritual systems too. Now, I'm not
right.
trying to make an excuse for our people, but
Right.
based on that, if you think about how our people might be pocket watching and doing all that kind of shit, that don't sound like some shit that's like indigenous to who we were before
Right.
capitalism and all this
Right.
outside shit came in. Where's all profit? I gotta get the money. I gotta get the money. Based on
Right.
some of the shit that I learned about some of our ancient cultures, it wasn't about money and power. Like our like originally a lot of our ancient cultures wasn't even about that. It was more about nature and your connection to
The
the
universe.
earth, the plants, the human beings, like that. That's how most of our cultures originally was. So I wouldn't be surprised that the outside shit that happened over the years of other people invading us seep into our spiritual systems. But that's all
Yeah.
I want to say about that. But go ahead, sis.
I want to say, I want to clarify too before anybody get mad, anybody hear the replay and they getting their feelings. I'm not saying that all Africans or all Ghanaians are doing this. We're talking about the reason why I made that correlation to the brother is because I'm making a correlation to our the detriment of our community to what is the comparison to the detriment of the community here. You know what I'm saying? How we use our assets, resources, intelligence for things that is not of us. You know what I'm saying? And I was just making a correlation so people can understand when they come here, don't come over here thinking that everybody got open arms for you because you black. You know what I'm saying? You got to understand that you're dealing with the similar situation that we're dealing with in the US. It's just we got different currency and we got a different situation. Over here on the continent, they don't have access to guns like that. Now, Nigeria is a different story. You know what I'm saying? But in Ghana, they don't have access to guns like that. So they use their spirituality as a weapon. But you also have people that use their spirituality, which they call it juju here. They use it for protection. You know what I'm saying? To
Yeah.
protect from those that, you know what I'm saying? Because they understand. Just like me in America. I know niggas got guns. I know the Neanderthal and the Mzungus got guns. So what am I gonna
And the
do? I'm
English,
gonna
they
go
only got knives.
gun, right?
So essentially,
I'm gonna go get me a gun. So if I was a Ghanaian, you know what I'm saying, I know that there people, you got people that use this for bad, you got people that use the spirituality for good. You know what I'm saying? So then I need to be up on my spirituality so I can protect myself. That's all I'm saying. That's the complete correlation right there. So that's how I will make the comparison as far as what is in the country or in our cultures on both sides that has the most harm, and that is a weapon that can be used against you. So is I want people to understand the weapons and how it's being used and am I making sense? You know what I'm saying?
I get what you're saying, sis. Let me add this to it, though. Let me add this to it because, and I'm assuming you know who Dr. John Henrik Clark is, and Dr.
I do.
Ben, and
Yes, I
certain
do.
people like that are.
Yes, I
Let me
do.
just add this to what you said. As far as spiritual systems being used as weapons, one thing I learned about because in 1996, something like that, when I went to college, I joined the Africana Studies Club, and my professor, uh, we call him Brother James. He one of the deepest brothers ever. Like he's the one of the people who like opened my eyes into doing deep research about actually not even just African history, even though it was Africana studies. Brother James told us If you want to understand us, study the history and culture of everybody and watch how it tied back into us. I still remember him saying that. But anyway, one thing I want to add to what you just said, as far as others who may want to use spirituality as a so-called weapon. Here's the bottom line. It's actually simpler than you think. How you move and how you like conduct your life personally and how you things like that, that's your protection. If you're a moral person, if at your automatic core you naturally love people and you naturally want to see people do better, even the motherfuckers you don't even know, if that's your natural being, you're good. That's your protection. Because in a lot of our ancient spiritual systems, the perception of God and power and different things like that, a lot of it is based on like it's like who we are is like an extension of God. That's how a lot of our ancient spiritual systems work. It's not like, okay, we pray and then we wait for a message. In a lot of African spiritual systems, how we go on everyday about our everyday lives and how we treat nature and how we think and how we feel. A lot of that shit is more connected to like who God is and how we interact with God. So if you're naturally a good person, if you're naturally not jealous and you want to see people do better, even if you don't know them, and even if you're having a bad day, your still natural way of thinking is positive. You're automatically protected and you don't have a motherfucking thing to worry about. Don't let none of that shit scare you. It comes down to who the fuck you are and how you like connect with the rest of the world. You're good. If your shit is positive, if your shit is naturally, I love me and I love you, whether I know you or not. I love the earth and I want shit to prosper, even despite the negative shit going on. That's your protection. You're good. You're automatically connected. I don't know if you understand that
Yes,
necessarily,
I
but
do.
that's kind of what I get from our ancient ancestors. But go
Yes,
ahead.
I do. And I want to confirm that for you because that's absolutely true. I've already had somebody try to put that shit on me here. I already went through it. That's why I'm able to speak on it. I never speak on anything I don't know nothing about that I haven't experienced firsthand. I already saw the oils, the water, the herbs, like all the shit, you know what I'm saying, that this motherfucker was trying to do and it didn't work on me. And
Right.
when this bastard saw me a year later, because I'm still here. See, for some reason, I guess he thought I went back to the US. I ain't go nowhere, motherfucker. And when he saw me, he thought man, I'm telling you, the look on his face. You would have thought it was a cartoon character, his eyeballs popping out his damn head, because I guess he thought I was dead and I won't. So, yes, what
Chances
you
are what
just
he's practicing ain't even his original ancestor shit. He's practicing some bullshit, some infiltrated, watered down other shit that has nothing to do with the ancestors. Chances are
Mhm.
that's what it is. But go ahead.
Yeah, hey, who knows? Who knows? He, you know, hey, I don't know what he tried to do, but I know the shit ain't work. He tried, he gave it a good run, but it didn't work.
Our shit is not based on, see, like, our stuff originally is not based on doing harm to a person or having personal agendas and all of that. That shit, that's why I like mentioning what he did is fake from the jump, based on what I learned about a lot of our ancestors. That shit is fugazi than a motherfucker. So like that's why I was like, like he practicing some shit that ain't even real. But go ahead, man.
I mean, I can't say that You know, I'm here amongst the people. I've been here amongst the people for 3 years now. You know what I'm saying? And people have lost their lives behind this thing. And like I said, that's why I made it a comparison to that and how we use the gun in the US because um it is real. And like you said though, if you don't have a bad mind for people, if you don't have a bad mind, you got a pure heart. You know what I'm saying? You want to see people succeed. You're good. You're genuinely a good person. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to worry about those things. True. You know, so you know those things. I guess work on who is supposed to work on. If someone wants to, do that to that person, you know, it's just like in
And,
the
and
U.S. Like
also
if
and
you a
also
bad
the people who try to, like, for instance, let's take that dude for instance who so called tried to put that shit on you. Now keep in mind, I'm Black American. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm from here, but at the same time, I've done a lot of research on our people back on the continent. Yeah, I'm not as sharp as I used to, where I remember a lot of this shit, but it's certain things that I definitely remember. So the dude who tried to put that shit on you, in actuality, him or whoever tries to do negative shit on people like that, especially if you try to do negative shit on people who are not bad people, or for your own selfish agenda, you're actually creating a situation you're going to bring back on yourself.
Yep,
So
it
whoever
backfired.
that dude is,
You brought that up.
whatever he
Glad you
tried to do, you know what I'm
I'm glad
saying?
you
Like he, go
that
ahead.
motherfucker right now. I'm glad you brought that up, brother, because that motherfucker is suffering right now. Best believe
Exactly.
niggas over here gossip just like niggas in the US gossip. You know what I'm saying? And I'm getting the word back. I'm even getting the word back from other African Americans that he know I'm connected to, that he think he can get close to them and giving the sob story and shit. But I'm finding out, nigga, you hurt right now, nigga. You hurt. You hurt.
Yeah, like our spiritual shit, like you can't do no old personal agenda, or I feel some type of way about this person, or nah. If it's not pure, if it's not nothing to do with, now, if you was a fucked up person, now if you was the type of person who harm others, or who does shit to create situations to make it bad for other people, you can bring energy like that on yourself. But if you're just a regular everyday person, you're not fucking with nobody, and you're pretty, you, for the most part, you're a good person. You want to see other good people well. You just want to see people do well. Shit like that do not work on you. So for a person like him or anybody else to try to do whatever spiritual practice or whatever, to try to bring harm to you, they're automatically creating some shit to come back on themselves. And on top of that, there's no official spiritual system or practice that's even built like that. It's not even supposed to be like that. So some of that shit is fake. There's no ancient spiritual system where a motherfucker be like, yo, I'm feeling some type of way about this nigga right here, so I'm gonna mix up X, Y, Z, and I'm a Ain't no shit like that, like no real shit that's from the ancestors, or that's from the culture that's really like that. Our shit is way deeper than some corny ass, I'm feeling some type of way type like that. Like some of that shit is not real. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't let nobody convince you that some fugazi shit like that is real, because our spiritual systems is deeper than I got a personal agenda towards this person. Our shit is based in nature, is based in who we are naturally, biologically, our connection to the earth, the plants, the animals. You know what I'm saying? The universe. Our shit is like deeper than some, this motherfucker made me feel like this, so I'm gonna mix up these herbs and blah blah blah, and I'm gonna make them. That shit right there is some. That's some old other shit. That's really not from the ancestors. You know what I'm saying? I know you close to them or whatever, but based on what I've learned about our people, I don't know about all that. But go ahead.
Right. I mean, I would have to agree with that, and I'm still learning because I'm just like, why why are we doing this to each other? I'm seeing that we're doing crazy shit to each other in the West, and we're doing crazy shit to each other here. Like, why though? In the name of money? It's all over money. It's all because of money. Everything it comes down to money, and it's sickening. And like you said, man, I always keep a clean heart. I was raised well, and I make a choice to be a good person, and I pride myself on that. And people that walk that life, they get taken advantage of a lot, and you will get looked at as a fool over here. Well, then that's fine. You know what I'm saying? But I'm learning the game. See, it's a whole different game over here, but it's really not. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So we just when you come over here, you gotta walk in your stride. It's how you would in the hood in America. You know what I'm saying? You gotta realize that people gonna be trying to take advantage of you, trying to do all types of crazy shit to you. But if you walk in your stride and your intelligence and your confidence, you're gonna come across the people that you need to meet because all the fuckery ain't gonna be able to come close to you. Hmm? What'd you say, brother?
that was my goofy ass wife coming in here. But go my bad, ma. But go ahead.
Saying it like that. Why you saying get you goofy like
But
that?
yeah,
She don't get you. Here you
yo, keep
calling
in mind, and I apologize ahead of time. I'm cooking. Like even though like we
You
spitting some game
brother
right
though.
here. I've been
You and
sipping. I've been
brother.
drinking and thinking. But I'm talking to my sister right now, so you know.
Hey, you an intelligent brother. I would love to speak with your wife because the intelligence that comes from you, I know she got to be intelligent.
I disagree. It's like nah, nah. Like
she gonna
me,
get you.
me and
Huh?
her bump heads because she's more. I would say she's more like
Wait.
traditional to like the mainstream. You know what I'm saying?
Okay,
So
okay, so
even
let me
though
ask
she's a
you
good person, she believe the other
this.
shit.
My female. Let me get into my female thing only with your wife permission. What is your first? Let me ask you. What is your sign? What is your sign?
Oh, I'm a Cancer, but I'm an
Ooh,
African person. Go ahead.
ooh. June. You're a June or July Cancer.
July.
Okay, okay, okay. You're a little bit different. What's her sign? Hello? I'm surprised he even knew
He's
that.
probably making sure it's okay with his wife.
First of all, I'm surprised he even yeah. I'm surprised he even know that his sign because most black men they not into that shit. So that says a lot. Yeah, that's really
Oh, they
different. I
use it
want
as a pickup
to know
line.
her sign. He ain't gotta tell me her birthday. He ain't got to tell me her birthday. I would just like to know her sign because she sound like maybe a Sag, a Scorpio, or a Taurus.
Hmm. Maybe a
What's your
Taurus.
what
I'm
is your
betting
what is
that
your
it's a Taurus.
huh? A Taurus. Um,
I bet she's
maybe
a Taurus.
maybe with the stubbornness, but Sagittarius are stubborn too.
But yo, even with astrology, now that you bring that up, like
No, what's
that's
your
a
wife's
whole.
sign? Permission to tell us her sign?
It's so. I know she's a January.
January
January,
what?
like
That could be anywhere from Capricorn to
Aquarius.
um
Aquarius.
yeah.
And that's a big difference. Capricorn and Aquarius is completely different. So we don't need to know the
also,
year, just the month and the day. Just the month and the day.
damn, I fuck around and get in trouble because like I can't even think of the date. Hold, give me a
Yeah,
second.
go,
Glad that
go, go.
motherfucker ain't in here. Hold on.
What's happening your wife birthday? Oh shit.
Shit.
I'm gonna
She
tell
gonna get
y'all.
him.
We
She's
about
gonna
to turn
keep
up
going.
to late night.
Nah,
We
she
about
in
to
the
turn
other room, so I'm good. Yeah, I don't know, motherfucker. It's like nah, but I know it's before the 20 something. So she's
look,
first
actually,
week of
hey, bro,
January.
hey, look,
Wait
bro,
a minute,
you
did he
got
say before the
listen,
22nd?
listen. We about to
Yeah,
help the
she's
brother out.
like in that first
Yeah,
half.
no, listen, we
Mm.
about to help the brother out. We about to help you out, brother. Look, um, uh, uh, we would like to speak to your wife for her permission, just because
Hell no.
look,
Hell
see what I'm
no.
saying? What?
That's my male shit kicking in where nah. I
Wow.
get to
That's
be
what
I get to be loud and arrogant without her being around. So I'm gonna keep my power.
wow. So does she know you online on YouTube?
Yeah, she know. She know. I wouldn't do no like underhanded shit like that. Nah.
So she could be
She
in the
know.
chat right now.
Yeah, but she don't be involved in all this, but she knows she walked in and out of the room a couple of times.
So we don't know. But we need to know if she's a Capricorn or an Aquarius.
Or she might be a cups. Both.
When is her
One
motherfucking
or the other with January. It's one or the other. Now, being that we know, okay, so I can conclude with this. Either way, you gonna get some stubbornness with a Capricorn and Aquarius. Now with Aquarius don't give a fuck what you say. It's gonna be about them, and if they wait, no wait, and no other wait, and they're not
It
trying to
sound
hear
like you
shit.
going in and out the connection.
Yeah, I'm in Ghana.
Hmm. Let me
What part y'all?
see if I can work something. Let's see. All
Hello?
right.
Even through
Hold
my
on.
phone, it's having trouble connecting.
Okay, now let's try it again. I turn up Lucy's mic.
Can you hear me now? Hello?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, try again. Tell them about the Aquarius.
Well, Aquarius, it's an air sign, and they're gonna do what they want. They're very loud. They're very vocal. They're gonna do what they want. They're gonna say what they want. It's no controlling them. You know what I'm saying? They're very strong, but a lot of times they're very wrong. And um, they're difficult to deal with for me because I'm a Taurus. And
Mm.
so other songs I can deal with them, but I can bring up Capricorns. My mom was a Capricorn. That's an Earth sign. So when you talk about Earth signs, they're grounded. But Capricorns are not as stubborn as Taurus. They're stubborn in their own ways. But Aquarius, they're special. They're very special.
Speaking of signs, like I understand that with certain signs, in that arena comes certain characteristics, but I think more of that comes with uh who the individuals are. Let me give an example.
Oh,
Now,
true.
me personally, I'm a Cancer, and what people say, oh, Cancers is emotional, blah blah blah, all that old bullshit. Now, in some sense, there may be an argument for that, but I have a different train of thought when it comes to that.
And I'll tell you why before you speak. Cancers are the fixed sign of the water signs. Cancers, you have fixed signs. Out of all the signs, you have fixed signs out of all signs. And Cancer is the most stable. When you talk about fixed, you talk about the most stable. So Cancer and Aquarius, I don't know if Cancer and Aquarius will work well, but I would tell you something about Aquarius, and I don't mean to cut you off. I got to say this though.
Go ahead.
Aquarius are very intelligent. They're very highly intelligent people, and they love to help people. You know what I'm saying? They're very emotional. They love to help people, You know what I'm saying? And what they feel is is very deep. But if you don't keep them excited, if you don't feed them excitement, you don't keep their mental stimulation, you don't feed them what they need to keep them going, they'll get bored. They'll get bored, and that's when you see the other side that a lot of people don't like of Aquarius. You
All
know what I'm
right, let
saying?
me
They're very
say something to that.
energy, very high energy.
Now, there, I'm aware of zodiac signs and the characteristics that's supposed to come with the zodiac signs. One of the things I wanted to mention outside of that is, despite this, the zodiac sign of any person, gender or whatever, um, who you are within that zodiac sign, who you are conditioned to be, the type of man or woman you are based on your um, personal experiences and things that made you who you are today. I think that counts more towards who you are. There could be a Cancer who's a pushover, and certain people take advantage of them versus a Cancer like me, who on some levels was a pushover, but became, through certain things, you become hardened up, and you're at a level where you're not that no more. Like I'm very different from who I used to be. So I would say a person's personal experience has more of an impact on who they are. I'm not
What I
discounting. You know,
what I would say is what consider specific is reading your chart. Now I know that goes against a lot of what people believe, and and the reason why that's so is because you're not just totally a Cancer. You know what I'm saying? Everyone has other zodiac signs in their personalities, and that's why you have to read your natal chart at the exact
I got
time and place where you were born. Because I'm telling you, I'm here in Ghana, and I have read people's natal charts. Now they don't know exactly. Some people know what time they were born. That is very important, because someone born in 801 is going to be different than someone that was born in 802 or 805. You know what I'm saying? And from what I've read from there, you have to put your name, your full name, the city you was born in, all that, your date and time, all that. And everyone's chart is different. It's different. And when I read people's charts to them, they was like, yo, that's me. That's me. That's me. That's me. That's me. I haven't heard someone, and I'm over here on the continent. I'm not reading Black American charts. I'm reading Ghanaian charts. And they're like, yo, that's me. That's me. I do that all the time. That's me. That's me. That's why I'm like, I ain't gonna say heavy, but that's why I kind of like astrology. I look at the tarot cards. I look at what people be talking about, because I found evidence that that's true. So, but like you said, go back to what you said. When you talk about someone that's a straight Taurus or a Cancer or whatever, okay, you might have the basic traits, but it goes into your personality and the type of person you are, who you are, and your experiences and everything. And I'm saying that goes back to your natal chart.
I can dig that. But let me add this right here. Um, One of the things that, and it took some years to kind of figure this out, because I was, the way I was raised, of course, I was raised in a Christian household, and I was raised to believe this and that. Of course, I'm different. I'm a whole different person today. But
Yep.
one thing I've learned about human psychology is when certain things are repeated and when certain things affect your mood over a period of time, you adapt to it. So when I classify who I am or who a person is, I go more towards more what they may have been through. For instance, we can you can meet a person in a three-piece suit, clean cut, brother. You know what I'm saying? He got a good game with his words. He's well spoken, and you can come across the dude sitting on the bench drinking a bottle of wine. He got dirty clothes. He not smelling too right. Now, your initial thought of these two people is you might feel more comfortable with that dude, the three-piece suit. He smell good. He clean. He got good conversation. He talk positive, and you might not initially feel comfortable with the dude sitting on the bench who not smelling too good, drinking a wine. He probably don't even got a place to live. He probably beg, probably asked for a couple dollars here and there. But the character of each person a lot of times is assumed by how we're conditioned to think about those people. And here's why I brought that up. Now, you would hear most people talk negatively about a drug addict, about a wino, about a person who's not doing too good. There's always a negative kind of context that's referred to that. But when you think of what's fucking up the world and the decision makers who perpetuate starvation, who perpetuate war, and who created the conditions that cause a lot of negativity, those are not the wino or the drug addict or whatever. They're the three-piece suit smelling good game talking dudes who make those decisions. So that's why when it comes to a person's character, I would say it's more experience because a lot of those people who are the good looking people were conditioned to think the way they are. They were raised behind money and their parents taught them, on some structured, this is how you get money, this is why you got money, and they don't question it. They just know they got money and they keep that going forward. When the person in the streets, he knows better. He might have made a bad decision. He might have whatever, but he's in his condition. And chances are that person on a lower level is not going to say, well, the reason why I'm a drug addict or I'm an alcoholic is because I'm destined to be this way. They're more likely to tell you that they made a fucked up decision and the reason why they got there. But the person who got the money and the power and the wealth and fame is not likely to say, well, the reason why I'm here is because my mama and my father had money. And, I'm riding on their shit. Most of them ain't likely to tell you that. So a person's personal experiences and the things that shaped who they are or just as real as the zodiac sign. Maybe the zodiac sign is that might be their foundation. That might be who they are, like at the foundation level. But life experience and the shit that make people who they are, I think that shit is more relevant. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like if a woman is abused over and over, she get in a relationship with 2-3 dudes and they all smacking the hell out of her. The fourth dude she get with might go to give her a hug and she gonna flinch because she's used to the first 2-3 dudes smacking the hell out of her. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I get that as far as what core characteristics, which may be true, but life experience is a motherfucker. Ain't nothing superseding that. But go ahead, man. I'm cooking. I'm drunk, so excuse me. I'm just running off at the mouth or whatever. But go ahead, man.
Oh, I love it though because you have the same spirit that I have, and it's funny at the end you said I'm drunk because that's why I don't get on these panels too much because I be going on and on and on and on because in my mind I'm speaking everything that's common sense, and the fact that, from one person that's influenced to another, everything you made perfect sense. And when you went all over the place, because you just basically went all over the place, I was following everything that you said. You know what I'm saying? And I agree on so many levels, and I don't even know where to begin to even rebut, or not even rebut, but just to speak my piece on it. With the zodiac, that's just a baseline. You know what I'm saying? It's just baseline from what I've seen is, it's true. But like you said, experience. Everybody has their life experience. But let's reel it back in to what we're talking about. You know what I'm saying? Are we going too hard on the black man? Because if we got brothers like you, Max, the brothers that's in the chat that understand these things, and it takes conversations like this, it takes being able to relax yourself and sit down. When do we have time to even have conversations like this so we can get to know each other and be like, okay, this person got talking with some sense. This person, you know what I'm saying? I can work with this person, you know what I'm saying? Even though they might be high right now, they might be tipsy right now, you know what I'm saying? They talking with some sense. I can work with this person, you know and we get over judgments and things like that so we can work together. Are we being too hard on the black man? I don't think so, because uh this conversation brought you up here. So now we've connected with another brother that understands, like, oh shit, things need to be done.
Oh,
You know
and let me
what
add this to it. Yes, I am cooking, but at the same
I'm saying?
time, I have enough experience and intelligence to kind of spar with a dude who is sober and got some sense. That's the reason why I got on here. I could simply say, "Oh, I'm fucked up," so let me not say nothing. Let me not go on there and make a fool of myself. But I know myself enough, and conscious enough to manage the conversation, know what I'm talking about. I may go off the deep end, maybe a little bit, but I know how to stay within the context. So,
Yeah, I do it all the time.
you know, but
I
go
do it
ahead.
all the I do it all the time. I put people to sleep. But let me ask you this question. When you talk to people like your friends or somebody that's around you kicking it with, y'all kicking it, whatever. I don't know what you do in your spare time, but I don't know if you smoke weed or whatever, but you drink. So let's say you got a couple people around, you chilling and kicking it, you start getting into an intellectual conversation. Do you put people to sleep?
Nah, like when me and the fellas build, it kind of depends on the circle of friends I'm with. Like I got
Maybe I'm
different
wrong.
circles of
So
friends.
I put
Go ahead.
everybody around me to sleep. I put everybody around me to sleep. They did, like, the conversation that we having right now, bruh. People would go to sleep. This is the type of conversation. The building that we all doing right now. This will put people I know to sleep.
Well, let me put it this way, because like I got different groups of friends on different levels. Like most of my dudes, I got certain dudes who into certain things. Let's say, for instance, some years ago I used to kick it with 5%ers, like years ago. Like those type dudes and people with that mindset, we used to burn it. Like I don't smoke weed no more, but in the past when I used to, we would get in a cipher and we would smoke and we would build on certain topics dealing with the community, with music, whatever. We be there
Yeah,
for hours. You know what I'm saying? Having a good time.
America. That's what I'm used to in America. But over here, man, that shit put them to sleep, man.
They gotta, like, you would have to like know they shit and what keeps them going, because I'm sure that whatever their street shit is or whatever their spiritual shit is, like I'm sure they got their version of the 5%ers or like battle rap like the way we do shit over here. Like we set the trends. Black Americans, we set the trends around the world. No matter who hate us and no matter who talk whatever, motherfuckers copy us from everywhere. Like we the most copied. You know what I'm saying? I dare anybody to challenge me on that. But anyway, I'm sure over where they at, they got their own thing going on to where if you was tapped into their community and culture,
Man, right now, how I would be able, the easiest way to be able to do that is to start a church.
oh shit, that's a whole nother thing.
Yep. That's how I would be able to get in is starting
Well, a
a
lot of them
church,
Christians over there.
church of blackness and self love or something. I would have to name it the Holy Episcopal Self Love, Holy Jesus, Yeshua. I don't know what I name it.
Oh,
You know what I'm saying?
I get your point.
Yeah,
Yeah,
man, it had to be a church, but
something that is not necessarily associated with independent thought.
nah,
So,
and yeah, 501. What was that?
yeah, I know what you're saying. I know exactly what you're saying.
That, you know what I'm saying? That joint, well, and then see what I get them is the food. Give them food, shelter, do the things that the other churches ain't doing. You know what I mean? All these big, pretty, fancy churches with white Jesus on the front and all that. You know what
Here's
I'm
the
saying?
thing. Here's the thing.
I'm
What
not
the
even
church
doing
people
that. I'm not doing that. I'm gonna feed the people and give them a place to sleep and come and bath, come and his public. Half the church will be places to sleep and
and that's
public,
real shit.
hospitals. So you know what I'm saying. It will be the
And that's the
smallest
real.
place in the church will be where the sermon will go on, where I would teach self love.
And that's the real. But let me add on to that. Now, the only way you will get a cipher like that going on is you have to have individuals who really give a fuck about the community, like naturally. You can't have
No,
people who
that's like
you're not going to get. You're not going to get people who like everything is their own self interest. Everything is I got to get mine and
Mm,
how I look to everybody else. You got to have a pure, natural sense of I want my people to thrive. I want my people to come up. Like you got to have that kind of mindset to be into these kind of conversations and shit. Outside of that, let me add this because there's some people who be within these kind of conversations who just talk a whole bunch of like bullshit. There ain't nothing behind it. They'll talk you to death all day. Oh, da 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 da, a whole bunch of words and shit. It ain't saying shit. We do got them motherfuckers. So like, I don't deny that part. But I'm sure there's people over there that got a certain mindset that if you run into them, y'all could build on that level. You know what I'm saying? And put something together and do something to kind of uplift. You know what I'm saying? Something like that.
mm. I'm not gonna speak any further on that on that part because that's something I've been thinking about a long time, and it wouldn't be hard to do. I've already been encouraged to do it because, man, when I see the bleaching going on, you know what I'm
Oh my
saying?
fucking god!
Like
I
how
heard about
how
that.
do you say that you love God? God created you, right? Hmm? God created you, right? So how dare you? How dare you change what God made?
Western propaganda. That shit is embedded.
Irreverent,
They do the shit in Africa.
irreverent.
They do it
I'm
in
gonna hit the
India,
break. I'm gonna hit
South
the brakes.
Asia.
I want to hit the brakes on that motherfucker. Hit the brakes on that motherfucker. And I'm not taking no collection. You can't give me no money. My church don't need your money. I don't want your money. Can't give me no money. But what I am gonna do is feed you, give you a place to sleep, give you a place to wash your ass. You know
Real
what I'm
shit.
saying? Give you some. You know what I'm saying? Like what? If motherfuckers can give TikTok motherfuckers and YouTube motherfuckers to gossip and talk shit and do crazy shit, I be seeing the chats, people giving $50, $100 to people doing all kinds of crazy ass shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm surprised there's still that much money in America. It's COVID. Like, damn, niggas still throwing their money up on the internet. Okay, well, let me see what I could do with some truth. And I ain't nobody. I'm
Truth
not
ain't
preaching.
profitable. Like you got
It's
to be
not.
on some bullshit
Okay,
with what's in the mainstream.
I don't give
Most
a fuck.
people want to hear the bullshit, so
That's why I'm not
gotta
on
accept
YouTube.
it.
That's why I'm not gonna be on YouTube. That's where the revolution is not televised. I'm not gonna be on YouTube.
But
But
I
if
have to
you want,
say this
you
though.
want to know
I
more
have to say
details, we
this.
can talk about that offline. You want to know more details about that, we could talk offline. My YouTube channel is about farming and self-sustainability. That's what my YouTube channel is about. Growing your own damn foods, no matter where the hell you at. And I'm determined to grow lettuce and iceberg lettuce and celery over this motherfucker because there's a whole lot of fruits. If I need peaches, you know how bad I miss peaches, nigga. I need a peach in my life.
You got to stay in tune with what's going on. Like I feel where you coming from, and when I listen to a lot of different platforms, it's a lot of goofy shit out there. It's a lot of
Yeah,
retarded shit out there. Don't get me wrong, but at the same time, what it does is even if you're on your square and on your certain level, it's not a bad thing to know what's going on outside of you. So
yeah,
when you walk amongst that shit, you navigate right. Because you don't want to step in no pits of this goofy, dumb shit out here, not seeing it coming. By staying in tune with how other people is moving, like I know who to avoid, I know where to step around. I know when I hear certain talking points, up this motherfucker about to go on some goofy shit. Let me go over here. Like it's good to know what's what out here. You know what I'm saying?
right,
So as annoying as it is, on some level, it's important to know what it is. So that's
right.
why I stay in tune, and I gotta raise my youngins and make sure they're aware of that shit. So that's another reason why I gotta stay in tune. You know,
True. That's why I move slowly. And that's why I tread softly and I move slowly. One thing in the military I learned is to tread softly and be strategic and things like that. I didn't come over here moving fast, 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 quick, quick, jumping on things. I did at first, you know what I'm saying? And I paid the penalty. I had to go through it. You know what I'm saying? We all got, that's what I call tides. You pay tithes when you go through something and you learn your lesson, you take a loss. You got to take an L in everything that you do. That's what bring you to success. You got to take some L's. You know what I'm saying? So I look at my L's differently than what I used to. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, okay, I took an L. Okay, let me see what I can learn from this one. You know what I'm saying? I wear my L's like badges. Like shit, nigga.
shit.
I went
That's
through.
what Michael Jordan said. Michael Jordan, the goat, even said he's like he succeeded because he failed. He said all them shots he missed and all of the games he lost and shit. He said that's why he succeeded. He kept on
Really?
pushing because he learned shit from the bad experiences. So
Really?
yeah, you're right.
Wow.
That's
Wow.
that's what that's what Jordan said. The greatest of
Man,
all time. He kept mentioning, and a lot of people keep looking out like the star athletes and oh they're so great. They done this move, blah blah blah. Listen to what Michael Jordan say about his journey through like being great. A lot of what he said is his fuck ups. A lot of what he said is when they played the Detroit Pistons and they used to knock him on his ass and you know what I'm saying? What made him get in the weight room? What made him study more film? When he tried to take the last shot and he was missing them, when he didn't have a 3-point shot, what did he do about it? So a lot of what made him great is the negative shit that he experienced that made him work even harder and to search for weaknesses within himself to improve on. He turned his weaknesses into strengths. So
facts.
so yeah, you know what I'm saying? Wherever you weak, you work on that shit. I ain't mean to bring sports into that shit, but Mike is
Oh
my favorite.
man, I'm you
He is
serious.
my favorite
I
player
never
and
knew
shit.
that.
You know what I mean?
No, I never knew that though. I never knew that because I was a kid, you know what I'm saying, at that time period. I never knew that, but that's what I learned in my life. And I really learned and accepted that when I came here to the continent. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? Like, man, I'm taking L's left and right, but I'm bouncing back too. I'm looking like, damn, I'm taking an L left and right, like punch to the face,
That's the
punch in the
shit
gut.
that hardened you up. That's
And
what toughens you up.
I'm bouncing right back. I'm like, yo, like I'm okay, okay. That's when I realized, yo, I'm built for this shit, man. Like, okay, what's coming next? Like, okay, now I need to sit back and watch. Let me just sit back for a minute. You know what I'm
Shit,
saying? Let me
look at what made Malcolm. Shit, all the racism he faced. His father got murdered by the motherfuckers. He saw his mother go to the insane asylum in the state, break up his family, and the racism he faced, and all the shit he had to do in the streets, his jail time, all that shit hard, like all that negative shit added to his positive shit. It's not like we want to experience those negative things, but a lot of times those situations can become armor. Those situations can become like extra shit to our knowledge to be that much more effective. That's why a person like Malcolm can go into a prison and can go into the hood and talk to the people because he was them before, versus a
yep.
person who never went through the shit. They had kind of a smooth sailing life and they made it and they got their degree. And then they happen to go back to the hood and try to tell the kids, oh, you need to work hard and blah blah. He ain't never been through what they've been through. He don't know what their pain is. But a Malcolm who been there before can go before the people and speak in such a way where like the people will get it because he knows those people. He know what words to use. He know what things that would trigger their experiences because he was them at one time. You know what I'm saying?
So let me
So
ask you
like
this.
those negatives is sometimes positive.
I agree with that. So let me ask you this from a different perspective. Gotta ask this. So how would you feel about a sister that is in that position or feels that way or been through that and speaks on the behalf of black women?
A
Do
sister that's doing
to the black, so let's say if you got a female version of Malcolm X, but she's not speaking to so much, she's speaking to the whole people, but the liberation of black women. Because right now, man, what is black dudes doing? What is the black man doing, man? Like,
up.
are we supposed to
I'm
sit back?
glad
Are
you
we
brought
supposed
that up.
to sit back? Are we
I'm
supposed to
glad
sit
you brought
back,
that up.
wait for the black man to take his position of Malcolm X or and be higher than him? Or if black women have the power, if we are being empowered and emboldened because of this whole feminism bullshit, you know what I'm saying? I mean, why can't that be used as a weapon against, WS? You know what I'm
All right,
saying?
let me respond to that because one of the most recent trends is the attack on a black man, and here's why I mentioned because I see this internet shit. You hear me?
Now I can hear you
You
now.
hear me?
Yeah,
I
I
can
can
hear
hear
you
you.
now. I don't know if it was me or you because I'm in Ghana,
You
so
1 2 1 2
I can hear you now.
Yeah, I can hear you now.
1 2 1 2.
Yep,
Yeah,
you got the
one and
floor,
two.
brother.
You still there?
Yeah, we're still here.
Yeah, we hear you loud and clear.
I'm beginning to wonder if he can hear us.
You got the floor, brother. Where Max at?
Hold on, let me see what's going on.
I don't know. I thought he was
Hey,
like
you just
listening to the
Any of y'all
background.
hear me?
I'm here.
Where Max at? Cause Max was trying to say something too. Where Max at?
Oh, that was hours ago. He's still there and not
So
there.
Yo,
Shucks, he might have went got him something to eat. All that talking about cooking and stuff.
I need some chicken. I need some fried chicken. I need some cheeseburgers. I miss. I don't even want to tell y'all what I miss.
You missed the cheese for the cheeseburgers. Uh-oh,
I
T.
miss.
Washington dropped off.
I miss. Uh, I need some Louisiana. I need some. I need a whole lot of stuff. Ranch dressing. I need.
Okay. All you need is ground meat, ground beef, uh, ground
I done
chicken
made a,
liver hearts,
I made a cheeseburger over here.
and gizzards
Ew, for what?
for the rice dressing. Rice
Ranch
dressing
dressing.
mix.
Chicken gizzard. What?
Okay, the rice dressing mix, the mix for the dressing is ground up chicken, heart, liver, and gizzards.
What?
Really? If you ever wait a minute, it's gonna be a long while before you get to Louisiana. Oh, you could probably just look online. The dressing mix is uh is the ground gizzard liver, the gizzard liver and heart of the chicken. Now, there might be something else in it with some of it,
Oh, he
and
got a machine
you mix
so I
that.
can transfer.
And you
I,
cook
I
that
ain't
with the ground meat.
I ain't got nothing to be grinding all that stuff and all that stuff.
Okay, we'll just do. Okay, you could do the less flavorful one with just the ground beef. Just season it real well. Put some
Come on,
onion tops and bell
ranch,
pepper,
come on,
and
ranch.
make it into a little gravy, and then mix it with the rice, with
I
the cooked
need
rice.
mushrooms. That's what I need. I need mushrooms. I need to be able to make me a mushroom sauce. I need to be able to make a Parmesan sauce. I need to
You
be
need
able to.
Parmesan cheese for Parmesan sauce.
Well, wait, yes, and it's not here.
Yeah, yeah,
Oh, he dropped off.
yeah,
Well,
yeah. I thought he was coming back, so I put the link again just in case. But yeah.
give me a few minutes. It's late.
Just
It's
make
two
sure
forty.
you have. Just make sure you have onion top.
Man,
Um,
I be making I be making my own garlic powder. I gotta make my own garlic powder, onion powder and stuff. I done ran out of all that stuff. Been over here for some time. I need some seasoned salt. That's what I need.
seasoned salt is just salt with garlic powder, onion powder, red pepper, black pepper, all mixed in.
Yeah, red pepper. Red pepper is the issue. There's no red pepper here. And
Um,
got I can find garlic powder, but onion powder is a little difficult to find. I gotta make it myself.
okay.
And
Um,
also, yeah. Even the taco season. I know what make the taco season like the Cajun, the cayenne pepper. I have to get the cayenne peppers and grind them myself. They have different peppers over here than we have access to in the U.S. Like the peppers they use in South America is different from the peppers they use here. Even the peppers they use in Asia is different than the ones they use here. All these peppers, all even though they all spicy peppers, they're all different peppers. Like it's no banana peppers here. Banana peppers are not spicy, but they don't have no banana peppers here. Sweet peppers here. Like I have to grow those things here. Like and I
what
like
about
those
what about the bell peppers?
bell peppers. They have green bell peppers, but red and yellow and orange. They don't have those here. Green
Okay.
ones, yeah, and they're expensive. They're kind of expensive because a lot of them they don't use bell peppers really in their dishes like we do.
Oh, that's gonna be interesting.
Mm,
Okay, because I was
yeah,
gonna say the yellow bell pepper is kind of like the banana pepper, so you could use that.
yeah, I
Um,
love it. Yeah, all those things, man. Even chili peppers, like chili peppers.
mhm.
When I see chili peppers, they hand me the same Scotch bonnet that they use in Jamaica, and it's like, no, that's not what I'm talking about. A chili pepper is different. To give you chili powder, like I have the I can make chili over here. Like I would really love to have a good chili. You know what I'm saying right now, but they don't have. People don't use chili peppers, and that's a whole different pepper. You
Taste.
know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah, so I got to grow them, and they'll grow here because it's a pepper. I just have to grow it.
Do you have the seeds for it?
Yeah, but I can always use more.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, so it's a lot. It's a
Just
lot.
instead
Like,
of cooking with the seeds, save the seeds for growing.
yeah, like they don't have cilantro here. I love cilantro because I like Mexican dishes.
Oh, I was
But
shopping for my buddy and I accidentally grabbed the cilantro. I have a little trouble telling the difference between cilantro and parsley by look. And I get all the way to the register. Oh shoot, I gotta go back around and go get the parsley.
mm,
I
mm,
said I'm glad
I
I
love.
was in.
Yeah, I got seeds for parsley and cilantro here. They don't. It's not anything you can get fresh here. They don't use that in their dishes, and I'm like, y'all don't know what y'all missing. Like,
Oh, that
it's
reminds me
really
why I got you here. That weird looking cotton like seed that was blowing in your on your property. Did you ever find out what that was?
people told me it was dandelion, but I don't see any dandelions growing. I don't. All I see is more bush coming up that's out of control, and is man, that land fertile as hell. Like, soon as we weed a place, the shit grow right back up. Like, man, it's wild. It's really
Yeah.
wild.
Because I started looking. No, it didn't look like no dandelion seed. I thought it might have been some weird wild cotton. At one point, I was like, "Dang,
Yeah, I
I
thought
ain't
it
never
was
seen
like
what that
shit.
was."
I don't think none of them know what it is. It's probably some more weeds, and that's how more weeds grow up. But some of those weeds, when you cut them down, it smell like lemon and lime, and
Mhm.
they don't know what it is. And I'm not George Washington Carver. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not a botanist. Now I wish now if I could go back in time, I would have become a botanist. If I knew I was gonna go to Africa and be in nature like this, I would have become a botanist. I need to get my hands on a botanist. That's what I need. We need to put money up. We need to put money up to hire a black botanist to come to Africa. If it's not one already here, pay him to tell us what these things are in the bush, because it's a lot of it. Look, they disregard neem. Neem is a natural cure to malaria,
What?
and yes,
Wait. Did you just say weed?
neem,
Oh, okay,
neem, neem.
okay.
Neem is the natural cure to malaria, and they had a whole lot of natural cures to things here, but they throw, oh shit, they throw them away. It's like weeds. They don't regard it, or I don't, I don't know, man. Like,
They
it's
don't
wild.
appreciate what they got.
No, no, at all, at all. And then when we come here and be like, yo, what's up, dude? Like, oh, this how it is. This how it is here. It's like, okay, so you're gonna do something about it. We're here to help you do something about it. And man, it's just about the money. It's like a lot of them don't care about that shit. That's why I used that high percentage I did earlier. A lot of them don't care about it. They want money. They need help.
Uh huh.
But we'll go into that in a whole another discussion another day. Over here it's 2:48 a.m.
All right then. Well, let's just wrap it up.
Mm.
Call it a night.
It's a pleasure being up here. It's been a long time. You know, it's a lot going over here. That's why I haven't been posting on my channel. But stay tuned. I
Yeah.
will post. I think I need to talk more on my channel, like let people know what's going on, but without a whole bunch of controversy. I don't want no controversy. I just want to show what I'm doing and what I'm doing over here, and it's possible.
Yeah.
Possible. You just gotta have a different mindset and know what the hell's going on. But it was a pleasure being up here, and
Yeah.
I catch y'all people later.
All
Peace.
right then. All right. All right, Lucy. Peace, power, and unity, everybody. We're gonna wrap it up. Call it a night. We went everywhere. Are we being too hard on black men? Okay, the answer is no. In fact, we might need to go hard on some of them. All right, y'all have a good night. See you around. Max is probably gonna pop up with a live, but if not, I'll see y'all Saturday. Peace, power, and unity, everyone.
Yeah, son. There's mad kids out there getting cream for the 9-5, bro. Yeah, and I've been doing this for a long time. You know, shoot the game, going for fine.
Alright.
And this is the year when mad caps get peeled. So I'ma spark this line, kick the reel.
Bang them out.
With all this chaos in the realms of the street, local street dog got to make ends meet. The average Joe's far too slow for the ghetto pro. You better know, when I hit the streets, I like to glow, I like to glisten. And at the same time, stay low, listen, motherfuck the fame. I'm pursuing the dope. My stilo is symbolic to a kilo. Cash is popping, cookies cooking, beans copping. Ain't that some shit? A player that's used to living rich is now a sticky kid, caught up in a ditch. In 94, Giuliani kicked down the door. In 95, niggas flipped to stay alive. Peeling caps while I laugh. In the stats, the 4.5. Remy in the glass, spark the boom, then I blast. They wanna confine me, sneak up from behind me. Bust a cap in my back and put me where they can't find me. They hate to see a young player pay. I don't wanna see that, son. They rather see him spray. But I'm like Diddy, a Terminator, squeeze the lead off. Using verbs and nouns like rounds to blow your head off. Hitting up spots, heating up blocks. Investing in stocks like Colombian blow crops. I'm out to get cream and ain't no doubt in my mind. Fuck this broke shit, I'm hit, I get down for mine. I get down for mine, I get down for this. And you wanna put your hands in the air. I get down for mine, I get down for hands on the regular. Shit, can't turn no bad. I get down for mine, I get down for this. And you wanna put your hands in the air. I get down for mine, I get down for this on the regular. Shit, I hear you wanna be a player. I ain't someplace you bet. Let's play a game of real nigga roulette. With this a DOA as I spray the melee. Content and punctuation is compared to AKs. You in a daze, overdose for pure funk. I'm fucking off like Tommy Gibb. My karma's a boost smoke. Decapitated rappers in my trunk. I'm sick, pumping skunk, bouncing with my click, popping mega jump. I'm getting back while these clowns be zigzagging. What's this talk about flipping keys? Come on, you're nickel bagging. I'm blasting off wings and making doubters believe it. You see, I was packing heaters when jokers was banging cheerleaders. Ain't nothing changed, it's still the same in the rap game. I'm known for banging rookies out the frame. Y'all done forgot who was the pimp from the start. Sipping vintage wine, eating a la carte. I'm phenomenal from the abdominal. Far from comical lyrics and sticking the brains like barnacles. Never sleep. I'm bringing the drama to the streets with techniques and rolling in fleets. Ain't nothing sweet about the streets, so I'm poetically ill. I'm pure like cook up and lyrics shine like fish scale. I got the banger at your throat and you ain't showing no signs. K-Dep, let them know I get down for mine. I get down for mine.